you were like reciting it from Muji's music.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love that one.
Yeah, it's powerful. There's one that goes like Bolo Bum.
Yes.
That one, like when they really get into it.
Bolo, bolo, sanshi, bolo, om namah
Keep the energy
shivaya.
running. So you want to be my reader today again, Jerome?
Sure, no problem.
Now this one to be off
Can we ring the bell one more time for Lauren? Is she coming?
oh yeah. Her
I think
and
they went to a store.
Oh, they did.
oh
yeah, they're not here.
we'll catch them up.
Okay. Well,
We won't get too far away. Because we're going to talk about the game of physical immortality. Now, why we got to talk about physical immortality? It's a must. It goes with the Breatharian message. Because the Breatharian message of not eating is a health message. And optimal health means that you are going to live a very long time or you're not supposed to die. This message actually comes from ancient times. It says a lot of the scriptures around the planet. I know we hear stories about people living hundreds of years old and all of this stuff. But immortality was always there when these stories pop up. Now, it's not far-fetched because one time I was talking it, and there was some guy that was 19 years old that was in college taking biology. When he heard me talking about it, everybody else was in doubt because they learned people. But him being in the education, 19 years old, he said, yeah, I take up biology. And in biology, when you look at the physical body, there's no explanation why should it die. So anybody who's in that type of study in that field will say that. It speaks for itself. Cells regenerate themselves. But while we're dying, nobody just really pinpointed to figure it out. However, we're getting there, and we are here in this age. And that's what we're going to point out in this teaching. Some people got the memo. And the Breatharian message goes right in alignment with physical immortality. Because first of all, you had to figure out food is affecting me. For you to even think this way. The average person, I can't leave it alone, you're supposed to, and it make me feel good. But for a person to say it don't make me feel good, and this is bothering me, and it's getting worse, you making a hope to make some changes. So the Breatharian message, when it comes down into its fullness, of eating very little or none at all, that's what it's saying. I want to stop that suffering. That suffering ain't even going to exist. So therefore, the hospital don't even exist. Like I said, if I ain't catch a cold in 10 years, that means that I don't, have to think about cold medicine, don't spend no money, don't miss no days of work, just for something that simple. That's not even in your reality, your dimension. That's in somebody else's dimension. Whoa.
Yeah, I haven't been sick in some time, and I actually played with it. Like Lauren, her whole family had the flu.
Yeah.
And like I just engaged, and I didn't get sick.
You ain't get sick.
I made a point out of it. I'm like, hey, you guys noticing something over here?
Right.
You know, like just I fasted a lot throughout the day, and then I practiced asana.
Right.
And it was just that doing that right there, like it just couldn't touch me.
Because a strong immune system don't get sick. Your body's designed is resilient to get rid of things. It'll do it if it's at its peak performance. We just looked at that thing on fasting last night. And what did it say? Your weaker cells start dying off and the strong cells remain. So you are a whole body full of nothing but strong cells.
So like for instance, like when we're doing this dry fast, at least with from my experience, like when I start to feel that fatigue coming in, would you say that that's just the old weak cells dying off?
The old weak cells dying off is cleaning house.
And I should just let it pass through, and then as it genuinely keeps passing through,
right?
It just
that's sort of like nature's surgery.
Yeah.
Nature's doing a surgery on us.
So that's when it rolls.
Mm-hmm. Stuff is moving. Other than that, it would have been stuck there. It's going to move eventually because energy love to move.
Because I'm getting I have a cramp in my intestine. I can feel it.
You can feel it. And the thing about it, it's been there. It's been there all along. See, that's the thing about it. We start feeling these aches and pains. Man, I ain't been fasting. My body's clearing itself out. Why am I hurting? You've been hurting. You just didn't feel it. You was numb. It wasn't a change. You better be glad you feel it now. Because it's moving. Your body just put it in a place so you won't feel it and let you carry on. That's all it did.
Yeah.
It wasn't like it didn't exist. That's why you should be glad. Man, I can feel that it's moving. It ain't going to stay like that. It's moving for a reason to get out of you.
Yeah, I noticed while I was beginning of like the 72 hours of fluids and then 14 hours of dry, breaking it, and I noticed that I started to get those cramps in my stomach as well. Especially when I was doing like breath work,
Mm-hmm.
especially when I really went deep into the diaphragmatic breathing, I could like feel there was something moving and it started to sting. It started to concern me, but I just kept going through it and it's gone now.
Right, nature's surgery taking place. So I've been through retreats, the third or fourth day, somebody said, my back hurting, what happened? And just sat through, then pretty soon a couple more days go by. Wait, I don't feel it no more. It moved. It wasn't going to stay there. But luckily you moved it. I remember one girl said one time she was giving credit to these people who taught fast. And she first learned how to fast. But she said, they saved my life. That's what she said. That couple saved my life. I ain't know nothing about fasting, and I went through it. Now they saved my life. I was dead and didn't even know it. Whoa. This is good, ain't it? So now this goes hand in hand with physical immortality, because in the Taoist text, they say there's 4 things. Now that don't mean but Breatharianism guarantee immortality. It does not. There's other components that have to go along with it, because it's holistic. But this is what the Taoists say. Not eating, not drinking, no orgasm, and no sleeping.
No sleeping.
No sleeping at all.
Right. You only sleep when you need healed. When you're healthy, you don't need no sleep.
Whoa, you just blew my mind.
So when a person sit up there sleeping like a cat, that's why we did that video on a predator. What was that called?
The apex predator.
The apex predator. That cat slept all day due to how he eat. They meat eaters and all that other stuff, hunting down stuff, so they need a lot of sleep. We ain't apex predators. You don't need a lot of sleep. You're an energy being. You only sleep because you need to regenerate and heal yourself. But that's why on a breatharian path, your sleep decrease because your health is getting better.
Wow.
You don't need that much sleep. If anything, you just need to charge up and rest.
Right, charge up and rest.
8 hours, 10 hours, 12 hours. You're already dead.
Yeah, that's your whole day right there. That's half your life.
You dead.
That's right, it is half your life.
Yeah. It's like when you eat 3 meals a day and you don't poop it all away. It's like when you're sleeping for 12 hours.
Right.
Where's the rest of that day?
And then
It's
look,
gone. No time to charge.
and then we hit it right on the head too about dreams. You dream when you eat a lot.
Yeah.
That's when you had dreams. When you start cleaning yourself out, you don't dream.
Really?
Because you're not sleeping.
Food is what memories. Food gives off visions. See, I did a thing on a show one time,
I know.
spiritual realities. They said since he don't eat, we want to see what type of spiritual stuff he be seeing. You know, because that's what they're thinking out in the world. And that's what I told them. Back when I was sick and overweight, I had all of those spiritual experiences of seeing stuff. Because you're sick. You're sick. You think sick. You see sick things. You're delusional. You ain't even in your mind. When you get clean and cleaned out, you come into reality. What you need to see spooky stuff for?
It's all you.
It's all you.
So maybe they're just aspects of your subconscious mind coming in pictures to tell you you're sick and you got to be doing something.
Absolutely. That's why you see all that stuff. I ain't taking away from people. I know this is going to upset people. Because I know they said, I know I seen that for a fact. I know you did.
They probably did.
I know you did. You sick.
Now what about when
You seeing through a vase that's, you looking through a windshield that's all dirty. It ain't clean.
What about when you sitting in meditation and you see in the higher realms? Is that
Well, that's how we was interpreting it.
is that
What you
also-
mean higher realm? This is the higher realm. See,
Well, there's some awful
we've been caught up on those belief systems. That's why we
those
think
people
like
were
that.
eating. I think those people were eating.
Absolutely. So we
I
had
wasn't
to
talking
fall
about
for
those
it.
people. I was talking about me.
Right. And see, this ain't no offense. We all had to. Back when I was overweight and see that, I would have been right with you. Right now, I don't see those higher realms, and you think I should. My vibration's high. Ain't no higher. This is the higher realm. You see those higher realms because you're out of low vibration. So it seemed like it's that. You know, it's due to how we interpreted it, how you've been taught.
Yeah, it's all programming.
It's
does the way
programming.
that this dimension appear to you, does it appear differently than it used to?
Absolutely. I'm living in the breatharian world.
And what is it? How is it different what you see now compared to when you were eating?
Well, it's sort of like I just said, I'm living in the breatharian world. For me to say that, everything here is sustaining me, and I know it. This is why it changed. Now, the location didn't change, but my thought and the way I'm in it changed. I'm being sustained as I'm sitting here right now. The average person back in the day when I was sitting here, I couldn't say that. So therefore, I couldn't wait till the class was over so I could see what to go eat tonight. What I'm going to make next. I'm living a whole nother life. Right now, I ain't got to do that. See how the life changed? I'm the same being, but my perception changed. I got everything I need right now.
So there's nowhere to go. Just be here now.
Just be here now. This is the only thing that exists.
This is heaven.
This is heaven. And this is sustaining me, so this world is perfect. Some people, the world ain't perfect. We was in Hollywood, that lady was talking about me, what you think's going to happen with the world? And I looked around, what are you talking about? We're in a perfect location. What are you talking about? She had to look at, see how the mind was trapped? She was in her own head. We was in a nice, beautiful place, beautiful people. But in her mind, the world was dark. Until I had to point it out to her and say, what are you talking about? I'm safe, you safe. We've been safe when we got here. I'm going to be safe when I leave. What are you talking about? But it was all in her mind. That's how the world changes. That's the dimension on top of a dimension.
You said something when you were in Santa Rosa. I mean, this is a slightly different subject, but it's somehow related. You said only focus on the first 3 chakras.
Right.
Because if you focus on those, the others align themselves into whatever they need to do. To me, it seems like it works both ways. That if you focus on the higher, it aligns all the other ones. Do you know what I mean? Like you can focus up there to
well, see, people want to jump.
You can focus down here to align up there.
Go ahead. When we hear that word higher, we think of something being better. That's our mind.
I don't mean better.
But keep this in mind. Let's take a hose. Let's just go straight up to the science of what we're talking about. Mm-hmm. Remember when I said heat rises upwards? That's what it's doing. It ain't rising. It ain't coming downwards. We light a fire right now, that heat's going to go up. So the heat in the body, the most heat is in the body is in your hip area. So we're just going straight on basics. Now listen at this. Yeah. So it's sort of like you got a hose. And the water goes through the hose. But if you put a kink in the hose, it's going to come out the other end differently. So that's how the energy is moving in people's bodies. There's water coming out the other side, but it's kinked up. There could be more of it coming out. And if you kink it up more at the source, or where the heat is at, or where the water is at, up at the top, you can shut it down where it ain't getting hardly nothing at all. So if you open up the kink at the base, then you're going to get the big influx of energy. This is what we're talking about.
See, I know what you mean. And like if I'm giving a healing with 99% of the people, my focus is almost entirely on opening up the lower chakras.
Right.
However, in order to open them up, sometimes I have to work on the upper chakras.
Absolutely. Okay, I know what you're saying.
Does that make sense?
And it is going both ways. Now listen at this. I'm glad you brought this up. This is good.
Thank you.
There's a word that they use called ascension. We're going to ascend. Gotta ascend.
I like that word. Let's talk about it.
Right, it sounds good, don't it? But everybody, we got this word, but why ain't people successful in ascending like they saying? Because there's a dissension that's taking place also. Now listen at this. There's a story called Shiva and Shakti. Now this is how the story goes. You got this Shakti, this female who's in love with Shiva. They love her. This is the greatest love story ever. They're separated. She's down here, he's up here. He's trying to get to her. There's a force that is coming down on us. It's always coming down. But she's trying to get to him. They're trying to get to each other, the two lovers. But every time she goes in the maze, she reaches a blockage, and then she has to try to find another way in the maze. That's symbolic that this energy is always by its nature trying to work its way up to get to his lover. But it keeps getting blocked. So once we understand this, the dissension is already taking place of cosmic energy. So there is truth where you can work on the higher chakras and all of this, but there's a dissension. But this is only going to give you half of the benefit, if not none at all. She's going to have to, this is why they're talking about the male and female energies coming together. The marriage of the lamb, a marriage taking place. When this energy, when you can get this lower energy to come up fully to meet with this other energy, the male and female, that's when the lights come in, in other words. You're healthy. This is how we know. They're together.
Wait, can you hear that? Say that again. The plane taking your voice away.
So what we're saying is, this is the indication that the female energy, Shiva, or Shakti, meant Shiva. She came up to a certain degree so they can meet.
What's the indication?
The indication is you'll get healthier. your psychic abilities to come on. You think you're psychic now. See, this is why this message could be hurtful to people, because they say, no, wait a minute, all the time. I know I'm psychic. I'm not trying to say that. I'm telling you to up your game. Yes, there's an energy coming down, but it will be 100 times more powerful when you can lock your energies together solidly. It's sort of like in this house. These male and female energies, just to catch on this light, turn on this light, is connected. You disconnected, that light ain't coming on. I don't care if you paid the bill. It ain't coming on until you put that connection back. Is that making sense? This is the same way. Or, just say, for instance, the light bulbs in the kitchen. I believe they're what? 60 watts or whatever. But if you wanted a brighter light in there, say 120 watts, you might have to change the whole fixture of the house so it can, what? Bring in that new light. So when we talk about the Breatharian journey and immortality and stuff, we're talking about bringing a higher vibration in the body. So that means you have to rewire it. You need stronger wiring if you want a brighter light. It's going to have to be. It ain't going to happen the other way. You can talk it, but the light is dim, and that's all that's going to serve its purpose. So when you're going into the meditations and going on this journey, cleaning yourself out so your body can get used to that higher energy, you're strengthening your energy system so it can bring forth a bigger influx of energy. So there's an ascension taking place, but there's a descension. Now the descension of energy, that's the real important word. That's based on how well you prepared the vessel. See, the higher forces ain't no use to them even coming to the vessel. You can't handle it. They ain't coming to that vessel. So you must go for the descension first. How can I get you to come to me? Oh, let me prepare the house. That's what they're saying. And then once it sees that you can handle it, here it comes. First, the energy is going to descend. And then there's a full ascension of the body going back up. It don't see sickness. It don't see disease. It don't see nothing physical to keep it alive. It ascended. But it had to bring forth a descension of energy first. Whoa. This makes sense, don't it? It's an exchange. That's the energy exchange. Remember we were talking about earlier about the compensation, or you get kicked out of your house? You come up with your gift to the Creator. Okay, I prepared the house for you. You coming in? So that's why when you read the scriptures in the Bible, those are esoteric stories. The Temple of Solomon, he prepared the temple first. That was his body. Right. To bring in the Spirit of God. I got to get the temple ready to bring in the Spirit of God so it can stay there. And then the priest's job was the fire in the temple must never go out. Sort of like how you keep lighting the candles. Serious, that's symbolic.
And I keep cleaning the house.
And you can clean the house. So
keep the house clean.
That means that the fire, the heat is in you, but it's your job to keep it lit.
Right.
You're the priest of his house. Those are symbologies telling you about this. Whoa, and as long as you keep it lit, the Lord will stay. Other than that, he's out of there. I can't be in there no more. You don't want me there. That's all it said. You don't want me there. You can act the delusional all you want. And how we know he ain't there? Your health going to start going down. And then pretty soon, the temple going to be in what?
Ruins.
Erosion.
Ruins.
In ruins.
The temple goes into ruins.
It's going into ruins. That's how we know the Spirit of the Lord ain't there.
It's like I hear you say on your videos, like you tell people you're not going to force nature to sustain you.
Right.
Like you say, nature only takes care of you when there's a need.
Where there's a need.
Yeah.
It ain't gonna force you. Can't force nature to take care of you. You don't care. The need has to be there. So basically, you crying out saying, "I want to live." That's the need. I want to live. You crying out. Now everybody think they got life, but on the higher spiritual realm, you ain't even alive yet. You ain't.
The Walking Dead.
The Walking Dead. See, we just think that was the first birth coming out of your mother's womb. The second birth is your spiritual birth, your energetic birth. You ain't supposed to go to the grave. You're supposed to bring on another birth and keep on up. What? Growing. It don't end.
The afterlife.
Somebody convinced us it's supposed to end. Right here in the physical. No, this is a small aspect of your creation. Oh, man. This is wild, ain't it? So that's why we got to teach immortality that goes along with the Breatharian message. Or why are you doing it? You're doing it because you want better health, a better life, and you should be wanting to ascend. So you won't have to just put up with this. Well, what can I do if I live forever? There's a big creation out there. You just contained here. Nature got you in check.
You're in prison.
You're in prison. A prison planet.
You're quarantined.
Quarantine. Oh, man. They ain't going to let you out of there to go destroy everything. It takes great responsibility to work with these forces.
So if you're saying that, like, visions are not the psychic ability, but your psychic ability will get stronger as you develop your energy body.
Absolutely.
What do you mean by that, or what would be the sign of that?
Your psychic ability? Well, you're exercising it now, but it's just at a lower degree. It's sort of like, have you ever was walking up on somebody and they kind of turned around before you got there?
Yeah.
They felt you, even though they didn't consciously know they had that skill. Animals do that. You're an animal. You're already with nature. It's just that you'll become better at it because you know that that's what you're supposed to do.
Okay.
Well, I want to share something because I've been fasting with you and I've been actually reading. So I kind of like a scientist check my psychic abilities. And before, I never really talked to dead people at all. But if I get a slight intention, did your mother die? Yes. Did they get along? No. So then they're like, oh, and then I get a thought, say this film. I say it, and then they watch it, and they come back. Huge transformation in their family. So that's happening more when I don't eat and don't drink.
Right.
It's very subtle, but I don't let it. If I think the thought, I just say it. I don't edit it. When I'm eating food, I'm not going to say that. They're going to think I'm crazy. You know, I let it stream in.
Mm-hmm.
So does that count as like the spooky visions that you're talking about?
No, because she's hitting it right on. The spooky visions I'm talking about is these things. Now check this out.
Yeah.
What you see in your visions is based on the culture you live in.
Right.
Whoever educated you, that's what you're seeing. Everybody don't see Jesus. If you're born in a culture that sees Jesus, that's what the person usually say they saw. When I went to India, people saw Babaji. I didn't grow up in a Babaji culture, so I never see him. But a person who grew up and that was put in their head, when they seen the energy, they interpreted it as being Babaji. And I could go on and on and on. So that shows you right there that even your visions is dictated on who programs you. That's what you see. That's how you was programmed. Until you grow out of that.
So what I'm talking about is like your mind is reception, like a radio station.
Right.
So like if I say, I don't know, I just heard in my head reception Mary. Is your grandmother's name Mary? Did she just die? Yes. Well, that's like a thought form. I don't see a body and say, oh, there's an angel standing here. Like
right.
I don't see like angels that are a body. But if I get a thought form, there's reception, and it could be just in her aura, and my aura is now talking to her. So
see, your energy field of your thought is coming off of you. Everything you know is coming. It ain't hitting. You see, that's what we should talk about psychic abilities. So a person can read you and find out about you more. They're in tune. It's automatically coming off you. They don't need to talk to you.
Yeah.
Does that make a sense?
Yeah. No, I mean, I have sort of experienced the essence of different people who've crossed over and had difficulty and sort of like done things like that. And I haven't really had much attachment to it, but I've not known how to assess it properly, I guess. So it's just sort of a thing that I like, a side hustle, I guess.
Right.
But I guess I was just interested in what you were saying. Like, is it that like my food is causing me to have these visions, or I don't know.
If you don't eat and you don't drink, and then you do the psychic work, you'll be able to, like a scientist, see the before and after.
Yeah.
Of how you
influence.
Like you get like 100% return on accuracy.
It's usually
as opposed when you're eating, you hit or miss.
It's usually been verified. Like I had a friend, and then all of a sudden there was like this man with her with children, and I was like, oh, you have this being kind of attached to you, and her cousin had just died, and he was concerned about the kids, and so we kind of just sent him love, and he was able to kind of separate from her field. But I have no idea if that's like real. She was connected to it.
It's how we interpret it. See, now listen at these interpretations.
Yeah.
When I was in Egypt, this man came to me and said, there's a spirit that's in our horse stalls, blah, 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 blah. That's how he's interpreted.
Or horse what?
In his horse stalls. He got horses.
Oh, horses. Okay.
So
Spirit
in the
voice.
stables,
Do they
there's
want your help with it?
right. There's a spirit there that's
You do
doing this and that.
exorcisms?
Right. So now my mind is he's telling me this. I say, here we go again, because I don't believe in that. You know, I that's me. But I ain't gonna put him down.
Yeah.
That's the experience he having. Now when I get there to the horse stalls, you understand, I can see where the energy's thick.
Okay.
So I just basically did a house cleaning in my mind.
Yeah.
Clean the energy field, blah, blah, blah. That's all I did.
Okay.
Now, but in his mind, when he came back, you got rid of the spirit.
Okay.
It's how we your perception means everything.
Yeah.
It's all dealing with our perception. We love stories, we're playing.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the more you get clean and the more you grow and develop, you ain't got to play that game no more.
Yeah.
It's sort of like I was with a person when we did some workshops together over a couple decades ago. She'll set the spirit guides before people come in and changes the scene. But now it's just, I done went one place. She's still doing the same thing. I don't think like that no more. As soon as I walk in the room, it already changed it. I don't need no spirit guides. I don't even have one. What is it? You grew out. You don't need it no more.
In the Shiva Purana in chapter 10, he was replying to Krishna's request to answer what Radha was telling him, what Shakti was asking him a question about. How can somebody who has no respect for you attain you? And she was like, no one, you can't. But when he keeps going on, which really confused me at the time, but you really just cleared it up a lot. He said, when a man sees a lump of coal, a piece of rock, and a piece of gold with an equal mind, he will no longer worship me. And
and that's why they say when you see the Buddha, shoot him.
yeah,
Right. Absolutely.
Yeah, I was stuck on that because then he just kept going on like practices to get to a point of that, but I didn't really understand that because once you get to that point where you see in everything it's all energy, Shiva
Right.
and Shakti, when you get past the illusion of duality, you then step into a place where you realize it within your own self, and what is the need at that point?
Right.
To personify the personality God.
And that's a training process of growth on how you see things.
Yeah.
So like how the lady, where's my blockages? I don't see no blockages. What are you talking about? She even had to laugh at that one. I don't need to read no energy like that. You're already perfect. But you train yourself to see like that. And then I started seeing, what? In India there was a man who we could say this homeless, just living there. I know he wants to do that. Somebody else is feeling sorry for him. Well, he's having a good time. You seeing it differently. That's God. He don't need your help.
I have a question around the variation of the ascended ones, for instance. Like, say, for instance, with you got to a point where you hit that 100% and you just transcended your body. Wouldn't your consciousness still be around, for instance? Like when she was speaking about just picking up on those subtle vibes of Mary and whatnot. With you, for instance, wouldn't your energy field still be around even if you transcended the physical realm? And in that state of being with all the ascended ones from the past, that's all that was really occurring. That's what they're speaking of, a being who has transcended the physical material and stepped into a state of higher consciousness.
You're saying you're connected with the other beings, you're saying?
No, what I'm trying to say is that just like, for instance, if I was to leave this body right now, the energy that was in it would still be present in the universe itself. And then through, like, for instance, Bhakti Yoga, one who is trying to attain Godhead or attain their teacher's realization, they'd go through chanting and devotional service, and then through there they would attain the vibrational frequency
of that individual.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what they call that Akashic Records.
Yeah.
It's just basically every being that came through here that got recorded due to their energy matrix that's in the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
That's basically what they're saying. That's a book in itself.
It is, like in Star Wars, like at the
So
end
knowledge ain't get lost. All you got to do is channel that knowledge
that
was there. You don't even need to know the person's name. All you got to do is know the intent of what you want to learn.
All right. Thank you.
That's it. So that's why when we say even dealing with the Breatharian journey, where did we get the information from? Some people say, did you read this book? I ain't even read those books. I wanted to off the intent, the information to come to you. It's already in the matrix. You can't hide it. So we don't got to get stuck on the real conspiracy theories of the Pope and the Vatican is hiding books up under the Vatican. They can keep them.
You're right.
You don't need to go, I don't care. You already got the information. That's just a game. They done burnt up the library of such and such. We don't care.
It's a distraction.
That's a distraction. You already got the information. When you put the energy out to go in that cycle, it will come to you. That's why how Einstein and them was saying, basically, you could sit in a room and you could talk about the whole universe. Now, why is that? Now look how they came up with the Big Bang Theory. Did somebody actually take a spaceship and go out there? No. They were sitting in a room like this talking. Yeah, that sounds good. Write it down. Right, that's what they did. It makes sense, don't it? They was talking about sex. The Big Bang was when somebody had an orgasm and brought you about. That's when your universe started. Ain't nobody take no spaceship and they went to the center of the universe. Yeah, there was a ball right here and it blew up. That's all they did. They studied in the scriptures on a map of the human being. If this is the macrocosm and a macrocosm, you ain't got to go out there. All you got to do is study this. Whoa. So that's how they came with it, the Big Bang. And then what? When you was a baby, the embryo went through all the different stages. It was an amphibian, it was this, it was that, until it became a mammal. They said, oh, okay, we got it. That's all the different life forms that was on the planet. That's all they did.
They were crystal in a plant, too, before that.
Right. They had to go out and dig up every little piece of earth to find everything. No. To study an ocean, you ain't got to study every drop. Just go get a little tube and study that. What, study that, and it'll tell you, you'll do a whole write-up on the whole ocean. Same with a forest. Just study a little part of it, you'll do a whole write-up on the whole forest. You ain't have to go to every part of this forest. That's what it's about. So same with us. You study yourself. You got all information in you. That's why the yogis say there's secrets within the body that you can tap into. That's where it comes from. It got all the stars, all this, all that, telling you what's happening.
There's a quote that I love by Blaise Pascal. It said, all of humanity's problems stem from man's inability to sit by himself in a room alone.
Right.
Yeah,
All his problems stem from his ability to sit in a room alone. Absolutely. And that's why even now, when you want to know the answer for something, consciousness is so powerful, you can get the answer. Don't act like you can't. You can get the answer. Whether if it come out of you, or if it brings somebody to you, or you see it in a book or something, all you got to do is just wait for the answer. Oh, there you go right there.
That's true. I remember after my 200 RYT, the teacher told us to all go on meditative walks, and she wanted me in the back just to walk with all the other students.
Right.
And they circled around. We did it as individuals. One girl would go, and the next girl would go, but I'd be about like 10 feet behind. But at the end of each session, we had to sit in front of the door, and I noticed with the first girl, she was okay being silent.
Mm-hmm.
And being with herself.
Right.
And then with the second woman, she was fidgety. She was on her phone looking for some form of distraction. She couldn't be with herself. And I just noticed that, and it just stuck with me because it was odd. How like some people are, they can do it. They're just
right.
there at that present moment in time to just listen inwardly and just go through whatever they're going through.
Mm-hmm.
But other people, they need to like numb it out. They need some form of distraction.
Right.
Because those thoughts are so overwhelming. The energy is so intense. It's like they don't want to deal with that right now. So
exactly.
they overeat, they oversleep, they use drugs, they watch television.
Key point you made. Even when we went to go see those Buddhist monks that time, he said how much you meditate now, but he basically was telling you should have seen when I first started. He couldn't sit with himself. That's basically what he was saying.
And he looked at you like a god because he wasn't even food free.
Right.
He was meditating 8 to 16 hours a day at the end.
Right.
But he still couldn't get to food freedom. And did you notice the temple was a little
It's a little messy.
Well, yeah, because if we're a microcosm of a macrocosm, so within, so without, as above, so below. So you got to look at that. Like your space is your space. If you're cluttered, you see a lot of clutter.
Yeah.
So I don't want to live in clutter.
I agree
I
with
don't
you.
want to be texting on my phone every 5 seconds.
I agree with you. That's why my phone's off right now. And like where I live in Lake Wales in Florida.
Yeah.
When I moved in back with my family, it was a huge rut. And as soon as I came in, I cleaned everything up. And then I just let it go.
Right.
I let it go and then make it a mess again. So I'm like, there's something going on here. So then I cleaned it up again, and I keep bringing up to them, hey, notice what's happening here, guys. Notice how I'll clean the whole house up, and then within one day it's messy again.
Right.
Like I'll clean up my dishes, I'll clean up any trash I leave, I keep it in a state of orderly. You guys are just throwing things around, you're not really paying any attention to your surroundings, and then they're all in a state of psychological distress. My mother's like watching TV like 23 hours a day. My stepfather, he works because that's the only way he can escape what's going on in here. If he's not working, he's smoking cigarettes and binge eating all of this and that. And then it's like with everyone in that household, they're in a state of disease to the point to where everything around them is a mess. And when I just get in there, I can stabilize it. And then I can show them like, hey, look what's going on. Just follow what I'm doing. If you listen to my instructions, you will see some change. And then they start doing it, and they're like, damn, I see what's going on. And I notice with some people, they get really resistant when they have that advice come at them, and they attack you. And when they start attacking you, it's like what Elitom was saying, they're just having a bad day.
Having a
You
bad
just
day.
gotta let them go through it. Because if you don't let them go through it, they're just gonna keep prying and prying at you till they get into your koshas or your energy vortexes or whatever you want to call it. And then once they're in, they're in. And then you just gotta work with them from there. And once it's at that point, you kind of just, you gotta just...
And the thing about
yeah.
this, humanity, even if you coming from the jittery mind to one who's more adapt to it, it all depends how you grew up. You could be trained and developed to get into that stillness. That's what we're talking about too. Trained to get into that stillness. And everything has its things too, you know, what is needed for it. But what we're getting into now though is, I'm glad you brought up that still mind, cleaning it up and all of this. Because now what we're getting into is what? More into the longevity / immortality message. I know one woman who the Breatharian message attracted her because there's a saying that says, if you want to know what your spouse is going to look like, go see their parents.
Wow.
Right. Go see their parents. That's what they're going to look like sooner or later. So, one woman said she looked at her parents one day and said, oh my God, I'm going to look like that. So she said, I got to make some changes. Right. I got to change, at least going another direction, or I'm going to be going to that same fate. Because there's some people who still stuck on. There was one guy, I guess his father had Alzheimer's, and he said boldly, I'm catching the same thing. I know I am. So he just kept living his life a certain way, and that's what his thought was. But it don't have to be like that. Remember we said before having energy and after having energy? You giving energy from your parents, your ancestors, wherever you was from, nobody's arguing that. But you can, what? Stand up to the plate and make changes. So you don't have to have that same course. And also break generational curses. That's what it's all about. Break generational curses.
They call it the sins of the father.
The sins of the father.
They do. In Catholic, my grandmother used to always say that.
Yeah, it's so odd too.
generations.
People would definitely be like, yeah, it's in your family, like, you know, it's hereditary. And I'm like, it's hereditary because of their lifestyle.
Oh,
Right.
absolutely.
Yeah, it's all it is. It's because of the foods, the environment, and the way they thought and lived. That's why it's hereditary.
They were activated.
But you know what? My dad is now starting to eat like me because he's been watching our
Me
videos,
too.
and he went from, I mean, he was like hunting deer and eating meat and ice cream and cheese every single, you know, like every week, and now he is plant based and walking 6
Right.
miles a day.
Now this shows the good age.
70.
Now listen at this age that we're in. This is why this is the golden age. Now for number one, even dealing with the internet and stuff like this is new still. The internet ain't hit the public till what, 1993? We might as well go there. I was in the Navy in 88. That's when I saw the internet. And I was like, that is so stupid. That's what I said in my mind. But it's new to us still. But due to it, your father was able to pick up that information because he saw videos of you talking about it. Now, there was a time, there was generations that couldn't see no video like that. So that means you can get downloaded information out on any subject you want, just about, in days compared to it would have took years once upon a time.
Decades.
Or even having to travel somewhere.
Even having to travel somewhere, absolutely. Now you can bring in all of you, all this information, you somewhere else on how you can develop and grow. So that's why this is the golden age. And I remember Bill Clinton said something like on an avenue that if a person, we're in the age of information, and if you get the right information, you can live a, good life, basically. You could be ahead of the game. So when you come with the Breatharian knowledge, just in the last 5 years, it has upped this game. All this information out there, they ain't gonna stop. Just like vegetarianism. There was a time there wasn't that many books it was fought against. Now there's thousands of recipe books. There's thousands of books on dealing with what? Live or raw foods. There's nowhere in the world you can say you can't get the information. Then we just showed some a few videos on fasting yesterday. We was already caught up. This is her first time fasting. Look at her. She doing it like a breeze. She got downloaded that quick on how to do it and already up to the race. And you already a Breatharian.
Feels good.
Right. Downloaded that quick. Oh, man. So just think how most powerful it's going to be. So now we're dealing with longevity / immortality. Humanity already figured out biological immortality. people who's more in the know or more educated, just take a certain education, to know that your actions do cause bad health. That's not even an argument. If I change my diet and eat lighter, I'll feel better. Oh, I got it. If I eat that quality of food instead of that one, if I walk every day, we got it. And we got the most centurions now than ever been about. We got to go there. There's a child born right now in a certain family that will see 300 to 500 years old easy. Just through where they're born at. Everybody ain't got the same memo. Wow. This is awesome, ain't it? Wow. You can just think about that for a minute. So therefore, when we start talking about immortality, it's not crazy. I remember a couple of decades ago when I brought it up, people laughed for a minute. They ain't laughing now. And it got serious. And I'm not the only one crazy. You ain't got to be crazy at talking it. We're about to read something now to show you that the people who are more educated, it's an educational thing. When you're ignorant, you can't see. You ain't even got to argue with something like that. It ain't even alive. It ain't no put down. You just be nice to it. Now let's read that one article. Did I got it there?
Silicon Valley.
Yeah. Now read that title.
Is Silicon Valley's quest for immortality a fate worse than death?
Now, Silicon Valley is right here in California. And that's a place where they do what? Great scientific research. It's known for it. It got great funding. So that means when it comes down to money, it's unimaginable on what they need to get done, on what they need to find out. That's what it's rated for. And they are doing what? On a quest for physical immortality. Now, they ain't thinking crazy. That means they got the best minds there, the best research, the best equipment, and they on a quest for immortality. So that shows it's an education thing. Only an ignorant person wouldn't even think that way. So that means they're not even wasting their time. Now keep reading.
Funded by elites.
Funded by elites. That means people who got money on the planet is putting big money into it. They want to live forever. Now, is people in their face talk about they crazy for thinking that way? For even saying it? No. They believe it. So for us to talk like that, this is why this is a big meeting. You geniuses. You having a big meeting. You talk about physical immortality. The rest of the populace ain't even thinking about it. But you ain't crazy. You don't even need money like that. You ain't even get funded like they did, and you talking it. Going for it. Because you understand that you got access to the best laboratory on the planet, which is your body. The best science and technology is right here. So you should be talking immortality. Especially if you're on the Breatharian journey. What are you here for?
Remember that movie, Mr. Nobody, where they have the telomeres, where they never age?
Yeah!
They live
Right
forever.
there.
They have the last mortal that was ever, that ever was going to die. But
Right.
everybody else figured out life extension through the telomeres.
Absolutely. So they're going to figure it out. That means they had to start a conquest with somebody. First they had to start thinking about that for that society to even be developed.
Right.
So we right now thinking like that. We the ones changing the world. This is ground zero just for you thinking like that.
So the telomeres, you're talking about the telomere strands at the end of the DNA?
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah. And they get rebooted when you don't eat.
And they get rebooted when you don't
And you
eat.
don't drink. You don't eat, you don't
And
drink.
that's a scientific fact.
Right, so that is stem cell.
Right.
Like all these wealthy people are paying for stem cells. All they do is stop eating and drinking.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's so hard to do,
Your body
right?
starts producing more.
It's not that hard here.
Well,
Yeah,
you
no,
just
it's
need
just
to
being
know,
jokey.
and they just don't
But
tell.
I didn't know that
He's
the,
telling everybody.
I didn't know that the telomere strands rebooted when you stopped eating and drinking.
Do the research. There's
A lot of stuff
science.
do. Absolutely.
Your brain.
We're going to get into it.
Because, yeah, so I'd only, well, I just...
And they're like they got a one life.
Gold protects the telomere strands because it's the radiation from the sun that degrades the telomere strands.
You're your own son, though. You're rebooting everything.
We're going
I'm
somewhere
talking
else.
about the radiation from the sun. I
Yeah,
understand
but-
what you're saying.
Yeah, but I think you once we get to a point where we don't eat, there's light, like the light
Right.
body switches on. Your
Because a
light
lot
body
of
switches on.
research, too, you got to keep in mind was from people who was
You're
eating.
right.
The reason it affects you in the
So when
first
we
place
come
is
back
you're
looking at
eating,
things,
right?
we are talking
Well,
different.
this comes out of ancient
that
ancient
ancient
Egypt
Egypt?
actually, because that's one of the reasons they were cultivating the gold is they were turning the gold into monatomic gold. And
Right.
that's what they were eating, and that's what was protecting the DNA.
Now check this out. Even when we deal with ancient knowledge, now this is how deep it's got to get. Now listen how I'm going to say this. We got the most information now dealing with immortality, Breatharianism right now than ever before. We've got bits of people. We don't know what they did. We're just guessing again. We got to put it together now. You got the answers. Now, am I going to go out and start purchasing gold? Absolutely not. This is golden. My melanin is worth more than gold.
Right. Based on-
So when they said that, was they talking about the physical gold? We don't know. That could be another similitude.
Well, but the monatomic gold is monatomic gold, and I mean, we found it. It's been found there.
Right, it's there. Okay, we got it. But
I'm not saying that we should go out and buy gold.
right.
Okay, I'm just saying.
But I understand we'll be
that
playing all
we've
day
been
long
looking-
with that, and
we've
we
been looking
got
for that. We've been looking for that for a long time.
Right.
The secret to immortality.
But that's what it is, what
And
he's
and
saying.
Egyptians, that's how they discovered it.
With that,
For
that's
them.
what
Then
he's
for
saying.
us, it's breatharian.
right.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right, now keep reading. They being funded by the billionaires.
Funded by elites, researchers believe they're closer than ever to tweaking the human body so we can live forever or quite a bit longer.
So researchers, that means people who doing a lot of work using their mind, is saying we are closer than ever to tweaking the human body to live forever. Not just a few years longer, forever. Somebody ain't crazy. This is right here on this planet. There's a group of people thinking that way. All right, let's roll with it. Researchers, so they probably looked at the gold.
Bingo.
Researchers.
Bingo.
It all comes full circle. And of course they had to look at it
Yeah, of course they have.
to even be in the game.
Yeah.
You know, it was interesting. I had a brief stop in Scientology for 6 months,
Uh-huh.
and they were talking about increasing your radiation, and they talked. I mean, that I was thinking, well, if you radiate light and you're in radiation, it shouldn't affect you
Right.
because you are that.
I'm glad she said this. Now listen at this. Now this ain't going off subject, but one time, me and a friend of mine, we decided to eat nothing but fruit all summer. We went for it. And when I mean fruit-wise, it was basically more of the melon type fruits. All summer, that's what we did. That was the hottest summer in Ohio, 90 degrees every day. The sun did not mess with us like it did everybody else.
How old were you?
I don't know, it was somewhere, a couple decades.
Long time ago.
Right, I don't keep dates like that. You know, some people good at them. I'm not good at dates. But it wasn't long ago. It was in this lifetime.
We've narrowed it down.
One of your past lives.
One of my past lives.
Yeah.
But that automatically kicked in our head. Because we was into the eating and stuff like that. But we had a summer when we did that. We noticed how people was hiding from the sun. It didn't matter if we was in it and it felt good.
I did that in the summer when I was gardening. That was the only thing I could do if I wanted to garden. I can't do anything in the heat.
But that right there was the indication of what we're all talking about on the same thing. So we figured out things a long way where immortality, as we talk it is not far-fetched, and you ain't got to hide by nobody saying it because the billionaires is funded into it and the smartest brains on the planet is dealing with it. That shows you a smart brain. You're a genius. You should be talking like that. Well, we all got to die sometime. Speak for yourself. That's how you talk to
Yeah,
them.
exactly. Yeah.
Speak for yourself. All right, let's keep going.
China's first emperor ordered his subjects to search for the elixir of life in a quest for immortality.
Now listen at this. China's first emperor. Now they just giving a little past history. Immortality is nothing new. Many kings and stuff went for it. What's the use of living for if you can't figure it out? All right, this is what we're saying. That's a waste of life to sit up here and say, well, let me just get it in as quick as I can until I go. That's low living. That's a low vibration right there. I be wanting to know how I can max this out. This is awesome. Right, you must really hate life if you don't want to stay here for a while.
Right.
That's what's happening. So some people, I can see why they don't want to. A lady did say to me, she said, why do I want to live forever in this? But her life was in hell. I can see what she was
I hear that
saying.
too much.
There wasn't even no argument. You're right. But if you living good, that's why billionaires is investing into it. The first emperor of China, right? He was living good. I don't want to leave.
But even if things are good, why is it better to keep the body you have rather than get a new one?
Or not get
Who
a new
said
one.
you won't get a new one?
Yeah, or not get a new one.
That's another belief.
I
This could
think,
be the last
but I
line.
think that we're getting a new one right now, aren't we?
Right. We're going to get into that. You get a new one by making you a new one.
Yeah, every
But you're
7 years you
still-
get a new one.
Yeah, but you're still. a
No, what's his
woman.
name's
You're
teeth fell
still-
out. He grew his teeth back. He regrew his hair.
Yeah, I know.
So that's what we
Does he have a
said.
new body?
But he's
I mean,
still a
you
man.
know,
He didn't turn into a different
Well,
kind
people
of
are.
person.
You don't know.
We're not talking about turning them into nothing different. Why leave? See, but then again, for you to answer that, you got to start looking at your life. How well do I like my life and start making changes? Because it's sort of like falling in love. Now, serious. You meet that person, you ain't thinking about dying. They had a true life story where I guess this was back World War II. They had this man who was going to sacrifice himself to kill Hitler. So he had the bomb on him and everything. But that night he met a girl at the bar. So plans changed.
Watch out for them front lines.
Before he had nothing to lose. He met a girl that night, plans changed. They knew right then and there he wasn't planning on killing himself. So that's what it determines. For a person to ask that, it's because you're not looking like, okay, whatever. But if you live in a life you really enjoy, that's who this is for. Other than that, why live forever? The vibration ain't there to keep going. You know what I mean? But once you start getting on this path and start healing and start seeing you a creator, start doing perfect friendships, perfect places, doing what you really like to do, you don't want to leave.
You get
Okay.
obsessed with
Also,
it.
too, there's a continuity. Like if you go, let's just say believing in reincarnation.
Yeah.
You have to erase everything and start again with new experiences. If you're here, you can remember your experiences and you can keep continuing. You obviously die and every 7 years change a new body, especially if you're not eating and drinking. You're going to get a new body and a new body with new experiences.
Now the point I want to make.
Continuity.
Now the point I want to make. Reincarnation. Now listen at this. Now.
Then can you talk about the 7-year thing?
Yeah, we're going to get into it. Now listen at this. Reincarnation. So I said my past lives was in this lifetime. That's what I said. Because those are the ones I remember. But I was a whole nother person, living a whole nother life, whole nother lifestyle. But I remember them. All right? Now that other reincarnation, that was given to us through a doctrine. And it was given to the poor. It wasn't given to the elites.
So they could have
It was given to the poor. So of course you live in this life saying it sucks. Well, I get to start over again. Who said you're going to start over again? What you need to start over for?
Yeah.
Who told you that? This the only one you got.
And it's always the rich who are looking for immortality.
Right.
But they ain't sharing it with us.
They ain't sharing it with
The
you.
part that they want to share with us is live your life, behave, because you're going to get a reward when you die.
That's it. So that means that there's a flaw with that. You see the billionaires? They got enough money to go to the biggest spiritual people on the planet to find out if that's the truth or not, don't they? So apparently they don't believe them. They went up there and got their own researchers, their own office. No, I'm not going to be reincarnated. This is what we're talking about. Only the ignorant believe that. We must say it. I am not trying to die so I could go gamble to see if I'm coming back again and I'm going to lose my memory.
No.
And I got this life right now and I could do something about it. That don't even make sense.
In the Gita,
Right.
in the Gita, Krishna says that the only reason why we reincarnate is because of our karmatic densities, because of basically all that stagnation, because the spirit body, the soul, is being weighed down by the material modes of nature, karma, and that their ultimate goal is to transcend these material modes of nature and to hit immortality through
Now listen to
attaining
this.
the God bodies, the heavenly celestial realms, which could be
Right.
what you're speaking of, literally upraising your vibrational frequency and stepping into that new paradigm.
Right now.
Right
Yeah.
now.
Right now.
So it's a living death. It's like death.
A living death. So
Death to your avocados.
that's why the scriptures keep saying you must be born again. You must be died. It ain't talking about the grave like that. You're going to take on the death now to transcend physical matter so it won't keep you bogged down to raise your vibration so you can live forever. They figuring it out. They ain't going for that other doctrine that they gave to ignorant people. We'll see him again. That'll be your baby again. And who told you that? That ain't me.
That ain't me.
This is me right here.
That's me right here.
Whoa! So that's why I tell people sometimes I throw it at them. How many times you been here? This is my first time here. It couldn't have been. How you gonna tell me about me? Yeah, it is. You talk for yourself. And then 9 times out of 10 when somebody tell about their past like they was somebody great.
Every time.
Every time. Nobody is saying, well, I've been a piece of shit all the different lives I lived. And, you know, I was the king. I was a shaman. You know, something great. We don't want to hear that no more. The game is over.
It's a nice big delusion.
It's a nice big delusion.
Well, be
Everybody
something
likes
great now.
stories.
It'd be something great now.
Be something great now. Transcend now. don't even see the grave like that. That's for somebody else who's dying. The rich is going for it, ain't they? Big funding. So that's why my funding goes into me. See, we're doing the same research. You just put an investment into yourself.
Exactly. Which is why it'll multiply, because you'll be a genius like him.
Right. We're
We'll all
doing
be a
it.
genius.
A straight up genius. You figured it out.
Breatharian geniuses.
Man. Now let's keep reading and see what that say. Where are we going? The king in China.
In 16th century France, nobles would drink gold in a bid to extend their life.
Here we go.
Boom.
Nobles were drink gold, so they must have ran the stuff from Egypt, didn't they?
Exactly.
The nobles, that mean they had money.
Yeah.
They would have got some blue, what you call that?
Monatomic gold.
Monatomic gold. To go drink it so they could try to live forever.
Is monatomic gold the same as colloidal gold? Or
No.
No. What's the difference?
But they died, though. So let's just keep note of that.
Yeah, no, I'm just curious.
They're dead.
Yeah, they didn't work. They didn't do what
It
they were
didn't
looking
work.
for.
Well,
So nobles again, that means that they ain't go for the doctrine that the poor had. You just be a good servant, let your karma so you can come back and be a better. They ain't go for that. They were drinking gold because they can go get it. And we in a position now, like I said, we are in a position now. You don't need a lot of money in the bank. You got access to resources and money. You're rich. You can move all over the planet, get all the information you want, and you can make this happen. You're in that position. You're the kings and the nobles. Let's read. Oh, man.
Gilgamesh, the Sumerian king at the heart of humanity's earliest epic poem, found a magic herb, but a snake ate it. In 2015, a woman on the MTV series True Life, I'm obsessed with staying young, bathed in pig's blood.
So is the snake still alive? We wonder.
Yeah.
yes. In Gilgamesh, yeah.
Yeah, the story of Gilgamesh. Those of you who don't know that was a story dealing with immortality.
Yeah.
He was trying to chase it down, and he found that herb, that plant,
It
was
was
a
given to him
snake.
by his grandfather.
Right.
But is that another analogy of the snake being the Kundalini?
Could it be?
The Kundalini rises,
And it's alive,
and it's alive.
ancient, and all of us have it in us. So it could be. Yeah, absolutely. We're putting it together. That's how we got to think, though. At least we got to see. If you don't think these things, you can't create nothing. You can't think. So therefore, if people, yeah. So therefore, if people, what? A placebo has the power to make a person heal themselves off of what? A belief
The
system.
mind.
A nocebo, you make yourself sick. So if you think you're supposed to die, that's a nocebo. You're going there.
Going to
Yeah.
die.
So we want to bring up another placebo, another way of thought. We ain't looking at it like that. Man, now let's keep reading.
In 2019, the quest for everlasting life is largely, though not always, more scientific. Funded by Silicon Valley elites, researchers believe they are closer than ever to tweaking the human body so that we can finally live forever, or quite a bit longer.
Now listen at this. 2019, that was just last year. So that means they said today is more scientific. They done threw out the myth out the window. And when I teach the Breatharian message, don't I bring it down to earth? The myth is out the window. You're breathing air, you're breathing energy, you're connected with it, you're an energy being. Go meditate, go run the energy through your body. This ain't for the guru up in the mountain no more. You can make it happen. Right now, you stay consistent. So that's scientific. So what did they say about physical immortality again? It's more scientific today. They threw all the myths out the window. They ain't going for no Kundalini being a snake. What energy is that and where is it flowing? We don't need these words no more. Here we go. We don't even use the word spirituality no more. We can use the word energy.
It's just science.
It's just science, which means knowledge.
Yeah, it's the understanding.
Gnosis.
Of nature.
Our da'af. Oh man, we've been taking it from myth to reality. How do you know you're on a path? Your energy start increasing, you have more energy, your health start improving, you sleep less. That's how you know. Due to your lifestyle. All right, here we go.
Even as some worry about pseudoscience in the sector, scientists and entrepreneurs are working on a range of techniques, from attempting to stop cells aging to the practice of injecting young blood into old people, a process denounced as quackery by the Federal Drug Administration this week.
Now they're doing all types of stuff to make that happen. But what caught my attention is they use the word pseudoscience. Now keep in mind that a lot of sciences today, the branches of them come from pseudoscience. One of them is what?
Psychology.
Astrology. Astronomy.
Right.
Right. Chemistry, we might as well go there. That comes from alchemy. Ancient alchemy, and now we got modern day chemistry. Same thing. So you can't laugh at pseudoscience. And there is a government funding for a pseudoscience agency. That's how they get their new ideas.
But let's just, for a second, like when they say taking younger people's blood, like vampires,
Right.
and injecting them into old people that have a lot of money, like vampires, you can just stop eating. Just stop eating and make your own baby new cells fresh by the what's it called? Apophagy.
Clean your blood.
Apophagies.
Apophagies. So,
Right.
So on the, well, I think it's the 36 hours, you start eating the dead cells and rebirthing the new cells. You don't need to eat a baby's blood.
Well, I'm going to tell you the problem. I got a buddy, well, I don't know if it's the problem, but this was happening with a friend of mine. All right, he got more money than you can shake a stick at, right? So, he's in the spiritual game, know a whole lot of stuff, but dealing with the food part is, okay, he just spent $400 for a hotel. Many people can't afford that. Can't afford that. The breakfast comes along with it, all right? They bring the food to his room, and he living a life where it's easier said than done for him to give up the plate. Now, I know it is for a lot of people. I'm not trying to back him up. But that's what he said, man, Elitom. The food. So he's not living a life like other people to where cannot afford that or not, or do I got enough money for that? That's not what you're dealing with. So that's why they're probably looking for other means due to having that access of flow like that. Whole other ball game. You can't even imagine that type of stuff. Whoa. Is that making sense?
Yeah.
Sort of like even dealing with relationships. Some people have an attraction on them that they just get more play than others. You don't know what they're going through. Everywhere they go, somebody whistling.
Ah,
Right. You don't know what they're going through. Can't even imagine.
having to turn down everybody every 2 seconds.
Right, every 2 seconds, walk around with a stick.
Get back.
Right, some people are just lucky to say, oh, I just met somebody 2 years ago. Right, can't even imagine. So that's what we're dealing with. Or so money, I'm sure that's the same way, okay? There was some girl, it was funny, we've had a retreat in India. She said, every time I ate something, she said, the waiter made a mistake and came to the room. He all decked out and had this tray with the food on it. I brought your food. And she looked at it, never been treated like that before. She was hit. That wasn't even her food. She accepted it anyway. She never had a waitress bring it to them and took off the thing and showed it to her. She was like, right here, put it right here. Put the napkin on. It was over with. Some people live that constantly, just for breakfast. All right? So this ain't no easy game. So I can see why the billionaires and the elites is investing in the magic pill to help them out, all right?
You have a lot of compassion.
I got compassion for them. Humans too. All right? Oh, man, let's keep reading.
There's millions of people now who won't see death if they choose.
Listen at this. They're telling you, there's millions of people now. We got 7 billion recorded on the planet, but they're saying, they're helping us out. There's millions of people now who won't do what?
Who won't see death if they choose.
It won't see death if they choose. What they're saying, we're in the age of information. You should be able to get access to enough information that if you choose to, you will not see death. We can't even say the elite is hiding it from you no more. They wouldn't have never told you that. They just gave it to us. We're on the right path just for talking this.
I can feel it too, even before coming here.
You
that
can
they're
feel
out
it.
there, that there's like these millionaires in the world that I need to like talk to because
Right.
I got the same thought patterns as them, but they don't live where I'm living.
Right.
It's not really a rich neighborhood, and I'm like, well,
And I've been playing around lately, putting God in front of my name on social media. People say, what made you shift to do that for? Because I'm immortal. God don't die, do we? That's how we thinking. You can't tell me nothing. And they just told us. They just backed us up. There's millions of people. And they said, got that in the scriptures, the book of Daniel. They say, in the last days, there'll be many who will resurrect into everlasting life, and many will what? Keep burning. Burning meaning in pain and suffering. We fulfilling scripture. Whoa! We ain't talking stupid. We supposed to be doing this. I don't know no other way to talk. I couldn't sell out if I want to. I can't sit there at no pity party at a beach with somebody. We all got to die sometime.
Oh, God.
I'm like, I got to get out of this conversation. Y'all got me all messed up. I can't be here.
Time to leave.
It's time to go. Why you don't want to be my friend? Because you dying. You ain't going to help me live. Oh, man. Let's keep reading.
Said James Stroll, the director of the Coalition of Radical Life Extension.
Now listen at this. All right. Listen to this title. Read that one more time.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
There's millions of people now who won't see death if they choose, said James Stroll, the director of the Coalition of Radical Life Extension.
Radical Life Extension. That's what part of the group he with. That group exists? Radical Life Extension. He's with that group. Now keep reading.
An organization which brings together scientists and enthusiasts interested in physical immortality.
Listen at this. It's an organization that brings together scientists and enthusiasts. That don't mean that you don't even have to be a scientist like that. You don't even need a degree. You just got to be an enthusiast and believe it.
Can we be like enthusiast breatharians?
Right. We about to start that. You know what? You just gave me an idea. The enthusiast breatharian.
Yeah, you're not just a breatharian.
Right.
You're definitely enthusiast.
You got to be hyped up over it. I love not eating. Right. I love it. There ain't no test.
I worked at a clinic across from Google headquarters, and it was like all like billionaire people, whatever.
Right.
But the doctor who had a lot of these ideas, he was doing like stem cells and everything, telling people to fast. But they were all so miserable. Like,
Right.
one after the other, they could hardly sit in the chair. Some of them would stand for their visits because they had so much. There was one guy that was like, he owned a couple islands.
Right.
And he was so upset. Like his mind was so like.
Now listen at this. That means the money didn't save him.
Yeah,
That's the story behind it.
I had just come from working in Bolivia with people who had 2 pennies to pay, and they were sitting there looking like they won the lottery. I mean, they had each other. They were so happy, and I worked.
Right.
And I came back to the States. I worked in this other clinic, other side of the world. I'd never seen people more miserable than that.
Right. So the promise of the scriptures is saying, this goes with our message. Nature don't care about no money.
Yeah.
It don't even see you.
Right.
But it need an energy exchange.
Yeah.
It do. Or big time.
So I think like the mental, emotional balancing part is like so huge.
Big time.
Well, health is the real wealth.
Health is the real
That's
wealth.
why
It's
it's
the
a
only
health
wealth.
message.
Right. Oh, that's why it's a health message. Exactly. You know
You
you're on a
lose your
path by
money.
your health and that you
die.
continue. That's why somebody asked me one time about breatharians. Why is there a lot of them is sick and la la la? Well, first of all, you don't know a lot of them. You just want to challenge me. And number 2, they shouldn't be sick if they're on a health message.
Right.
Or you should have seen how they were before.
Right.
See, sometimes you could have been in such a messed up condition before, you should have seen me before.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, if you guys.
I came a long way.
They may have been healthier than they were before.
Right.
But,
Oh, man, whole nother ball game. Now let's keep reading.
nice.
This is getting good, ain't it?
At present, our bodies are built to last. If you took perfect care of your body, 125 years, according to Stroll. The
No.
problem. Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
According to what?
Read that again.
Yeah, read that again.
Okay.
See, that we got to wrap our head around it. You're doing a good job reading, too. I love it.
At present,
At present, all
our
right,
bodies are built to last.
are built to last. They're built to last. That's their design. That's why that kid that was in biology class, 19 years old, and I was talking immortality over a couple decades ago, he agreed with me. He was in class getting educated, looking at the human body and saying, oh, it's not supposed to die. But the ignorant is the only ones who's arguing about that. Because they've been convinced, due to their lifestyles, their habits, just being ignorant in the darkness, that they're supposed to die. And that's the ones who got the reincarnation. Well, I can start again in another life. That's what you believe. This is my only life.
My grandparents on my Puerto Rican side, they had a very holistic diet throughout their whole life, straight from the land, and they lived into the late 90s. But
Right.
on my mother's side, it was the complete opposite, and they didn't make it past their 80s,
Right.
which is interesting. It's a few differentiations, but
Mhm.
if they, for instance, maybe just cleaned up.
And you saw the difference.
Yeah, yeah.
And we're in this age now where we're just adding on just a little bit other things.
Mhm.
You just seen that part. Now you're doing the yoga now. Could you picture him 50 years from now still doing his yoga?
Right.
He's still going to be sitting in the chair like that.
You better
Right.
believe it.
He's going to be just like this out of retreat, talking about, yeah, and la, 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 50 years from now. Why should it change?
It should.
That's designed to live forever.
Yeah, the cells are repeating, constantly reproducing. So if you give them the proper environment that's conducive to the electrical,
Bingo.
Bingo, that's what he just said. Now read that again.
At present, our bodies are built to last. If you took perfect care of your body, 125 years according to Stroll, the problem is that if someone did live to be 125, they are unlikely to remain spry into their final decades.
So the problem they having now, there's people who living old, but they're broken up. That's what he basically saying. But if you take perfect health care of your body, that should be simple. That's basically what he's saying. So that's the problem they're dealing with, even dealing with the money and all of this other stuff. Yeah, you can live long, but we want to be that if you miserable all in that body.
Yeah.
We ain't talking about
Yeah.
that.
So they're programming us to not want to live because you're not going to have any quality of life.
Exactly. That's the program. You ain't going to have no quality of life, so why you want to live that age anyway?
That's what I've been saying lately, right before I came here. Oh, my goal is not to prevent death. It's to help people's quality of life so that they can do that for themselves if they want it.
Right.
The change in their mind about the death thing. I'm not even going to try to do that. I'm just going to try to, give you
change your
information
mind.
to give yourself better quality, and then you're going to want to.
That's
live
where it comes
live.
at.
Exactly.
Live a better quality, high vibrational life, and everything else will just come. You ain't even got to think about it. All right, here we go. Man, this is good, ain't it?
Mm-hmm.
Boy, see, we're immortals now. We came to a Breatharian retreat and left immortals. That's what it's about.
That's going to be the next retreat. We'll call it the Immortal Retreat.
The Immortal Retreat.
That'll be February. The Advanced. I'm going to change the title right up to get out of the lecture.
She'd have got pumped up. Look at her. She over there, look. Charging up. Can't help it. She was doing the same thing. Can't help it now.
Well, when you realize that that is the truth, you actually are like, this is more serious than we thought.
yeah.
More serious than we thought.
So, like, we really can go as far as we can go.
Right. Real far. So even when that's why it's a powerful thing if you can heal yourself. When I was sitting up there overweight, high blood pressure, going into the doctor's office, I was in bad shape. I didn't want to live forever. But then when I came back, after I made some few changes, lost the weight, blood pressure gone, I ain't need to see him no more. I wanted to go live. I was like, how long? Hurry up and do this checkup so I can leave. I ain't going to be back to see you no more.
I like this.
I'm
body.
clear how I got here.
Yeah.
Right. I was crystal clear how I got there. I ate too much Salisbury steak
Too
and
much
all this
salad.
other stuff. Too much everything. Couldn't stop. It was just going, you're supposed to be like that. Wait a minute, this don't make no sense. What you mean I'm supposed to be like that?
Not
Now,
taking your medicine?
right. You ain't taking your medicine, don't even need it.
Yeah.
You save money, time, what? Misery, you can think, you can do new things, all this good
genius.
stuff.
Think about the doctor, Elitom.
Oh, and what about if you can't process
He
it?
needs us. He got a big enough staff already. Man, this is heavy, ain't it? Let's keep reading. This is getting good.
Who wants to live in some decrepit state? Stroll said. We've increased lifespans a lot, but we haven't improved quality of lifespan. That's where what enthusiasts call super longevity comes in.
Super longevity. Okay, we increase lifespans, but not the quality of lifespans. So that's what the dilemma is, or how he's saying it. But now they're calling it what? Super
Longevity.
longevity, meaning you should live long, but still have your usefulness.
Right.
This is what we're saying. All right, let's bring it in.
A number of billionaires have pumped
A
money.
number of them. All right, go ahead. Sorry. A number of billionaires have pumped money where?
A number of billionaires have pumped money into the research that aims to keep people fighting fit as they age.
Uh-huh. So that means that the billionaires, they ain't talking about reincarnating like we've been taught again. I don't want to start over because they know that's a bunch of bull for the other ones. We're going to pump a bunch of money in so we can figure out a way where I can live long and enjoy my money
Bingo.
because I'm happy with my life. See, you're only happy with your life when you want to live forever. That's why the Breatharian journey is a happy, fun journey. You start having happiness and fun, you want to stay here longer. You start getting yourself in miserable situations and all this, you don't want to stick around.
And it's such a like, ooh, because if you're eating too much, like my experience, then you're making yourself unhappy, so you don't want to live long, but then a part of you does want to live long.
Yeah.
So then you're like, well, I got to figure this out. And that's when you sit down.
So that's like schizophrenia.
Yeah.
The average
Yeah.
person is a schizophrenic.
Yeah.
The body's thinking one way, the mind's thinking another way, and they're fighting against each other. Inside, that's hell.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a vessel of hell.
Yeah.
Don't know what it want to do. Man. All right, let's go reading.
Google founders Sergey Brin and Larry Page have pumped millions into Calico, a secretive health venture which aims to solve death.
A secretive
Solve
To
death.
solve it.
to solve death.
They wouldn't have even said that a few years ago.
Right. And I guess it ain't no secret now because they just told us that they're working on it. So they got to change that name.
Where did you find this?
Oh, that's on what's that called? The Guardian newspaper. And they got many of them. You look up physical immortality, who's working on it, researchers, it's all down the line. We're in a good age. Ain't nothing being hid. People working on it, going for it. That's why I'm teaching my message. I ain't holding it down. People be challenging me like, why should I? I've already transformed. Running all over the place. I'm just climbing Mount Shasta. Seven of my buddies can't even do that. All overweight and stuff. I ain't putting them down. They my buddies. But that's where they went with it. We transforming. All right, let's where we at now.
Amazon founder Jeff Bezos and the billionaire Peter Thiel are backers of Unity Biotechnology, which hopes to combat the effects of aging.
Hope to combat. They pumping billions into it. They working on it. Let's keep reading. This is good, ain't it?
The idea of never dying might sound like something from science fiction, but the experimental techniques are far removed from a brain in a jar, a body in a freezer, or a heart wired up to a car battery.
Now listen to what they said. It sounds far-fetched. Living forever.
That's Frankenstein that he just described.
Right. But he said it basically it's not far-fetched like that no more. They making it, they going for it. So why can't we go for it? You should. That's a worthy life to have a journey living forever. Other than that, oh, go ahead. That's why that guy who pulled up in my community center driving a Mercedes, talk about this was my life dream. And he get out with a cane, diabetes, young man. That was your dream right there. That don't even make sense. That's a waste of, you know how they say a brain is a terrible thing to waste? A mind is, that's what it was right there. Whoa.
So you know what I want to say? When you said you can talk yourself into it, and if you hang around with me long enough, I will talk you into becoming a breatharian, no matter where you're at. And that's the thing, is the subconscious mind is a habitual creature. And if we keep listening to this message, and that's why it's so important to go to these retreats, because this is my third one, and I'm finally getting it. The repeating.
The
They're repeating. You're immortal, you're immortal, you're immortal. I'm a breatharian, I'm a breatharian, I'm a breatharian.
Right.
You put all the science together, you say it again and again. Eventually my cells are not going to let me eat.
Right.
It's not going to be in here anymore.
Right.
It's going to be in my body, which is my subconscious mind, and it'll override my mind.
And look what the Taoists are saying again. They saying no. Now this is what they saying immortality is. No eating. All right, the body ain't got to waste all that energy doing it. It's off another source. Not drinking. Why should it? All it's going to do is pee it out. So I don't need to. No sleeping. That's something I even tried for because you're going to be healthy. And then it said not having an orgasm. Now let me tell you about having sex. It's overrated.
Yeah.
Agreed.
All you doing is doing a what? A contract for somebody to get on your nerves. I'm going to be the first one to say it. I don't care what nobody say.
Activity for someone to get on your nerves.
Right.
Ooh.
I want to do other things. I don't want to go to the Rainbow Park. All right, whatever. I'm just making stuff up though. But serious. It's overrated. After a while, you know, you have your little experience, but after you get older, I got to waste all this time and energy pleasing somebody else. I don't feel like it. I'm sweating. Right, I'm tired. I don't want to. Well, you got to care about me. Why can't I care about you just by looking at you?
Exactly.
I don't want to do that. You done had your life experience. Go into something else. Be an immortal. Once you done got it off your chest,
Gotta record you.
oh man, I'm just going ahead and say it. That would turn me off.
Oh boy, thank you.
It would. I seen a girl one time, you know, I was dating her. She was eating a sandwich. And then she thought she was going to kiss me after she'd ate the mayonnaise all over. I was like, ugh. I don't want to play this game no more. I done got too old for this. I done aged or outgrew that. What I look like having a girlfriend? I would go call my girlfriend. I'm grown. I'm a grown guy. I gotta go check in with somebody. What do I look like? I already got children out there. He grown. Let him to go take care of that. I already been through that. That's what we saying. Use these energies for something else to do something worthy and become immortal. Nip it all in the bud. We don't even know what we can do yet. Oh man, high vibration. This is rough, ain't it?
No, it's rough to do it.
This is rough to do
It's
it.
smooth, man.
It's fan overrated.
This is real smooth.
Oh man, I mean I got some nice friends out there, but I don't want to go with them. They get on my nerves. I tell you the truth.
I remember in
I don't even have the patience.
Yeah.
Didn't you see my hair? What I need to look at your hair for? I don't care. Let Danny look at your hair down the street. I don't care about your hair. Oh man, I done snapped. All right, but this is where we at. You already played the game. I'm trying to be an immortal. Now I am an immortal. I ain't got time for that. Putting me back to sleep. That's why Samson lost his strength. Had sex with that whatever her name is.
Delilah.
Delilah.
Yeah.
They said he lost she cut the 7 locks off his head. Notice that he used the word 7 locks. His 7 chakras went down. He had an orgasm. Once one got drained, it drained the rest of them.
Damn.
He lost his immortality. He lost his strength. That's what they telling you. I don't want to lose my strength. I'm out of there. You dang sure better be worth it. We put in too much work. This is what we talking about. Energy all high. Then I have to go eat again. Take them out to them. What? You said we was going to eat today? And what I want to play that game for? Well, you might be somebody who don't eat. Well, we don't eat. We don't need to go with each other. That's what couples get together for, to bug each other on what they're going to go eat next. That's what they do. Tell me something different. What you going to eat tonight? What you want to go eat? Where you want to go? That's all they doing.
It's just a game.
It's just a game.
Right. And that's interesting too, because all relationships are binding by definition, and
They all selfish.
right,
Every last one of them.
right.
We might as well go there. Half of the adventures I had, I wouldn't even have them if I would have been in a relationship. Because she couldn't keep up. Yeah, I got man strength. I'm climbing Atlas Mountain. I would have been, hold up, wait for me. Oh, God, I can't even climb the mountain.
I remember during
Right.
one of the talks, you said that, Miss Athena, you said that Qigong became to you like an orgasm all over your body, and
It is.
and you didn't know anybody. You know, that was the difference between that and having sex.
It's a full
I've
body.
experienced
Or I had one this morning. I'm saying doing the yoga because I haven't been eating or drinking, and it hit me again, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's all over. It's not localized, and
Yeah.
afterwards you're not drained.
I had that.
You're
when
not
I sat
drained.
down And start listening.
That's what it boils down to. You can continue.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what we talk about immortality. It's a
And you don't
lifestyle.
owe anybody anything.
And you don't owe nobody nothing.
No.
You're
If
free.
you have sex
Right.
correctly, you're not drained.
Well, whatever that
I
means.
mean, you don't have to have a physical orgasm.
We're all
just
having
because you
sex
have
right now.
Yeah, we having sex right now.
It's a sacred energy.
Whatever that means. I heard those stories, but
Yeah, that
I prefer
tantra.
this right here.
Yeah.
This is why I got my full strength.
I'll say I lived in a temple and I was celibate and I was doing kundalini and doing this stuff, and then I got talked into a romantic relationship with an Italian who wanted to have sex. Tantra talked me into that. I lost all my power, all my light. I got jealous, I got needy, and I got courted. Now I was working with not a breatharian, a raw food teacher who was raw, who was celibate. He used to stand on his fingers. He was 60. He looked 30. His name is Lou Corona, very famous. He fell in love, had sex one time, and he came to me crying, Athena, you're not going to believe what happened. I went in front of like all of my clients to show them the finger stance where he can balance. He can stand
could
on
do
his
it.
fingers like this and hold his whole body up, and he's 60. After having sex one time, he couldn't do it. And he fell in front of all of his students because he had sex.
Now, this is what we're dealing with as we talk on these levels. We're talking on the immortal levels. If you still want to play the game, that's okay, but we're talking something different. So, what we're saying is, you do grab another impact of strength when you're using your sexual energy differently. We ain't even talking tantrum. That's somewhere else. You know what I mean? So we can make it clear so people say, oh, that's not about me. We ain't saying that. But when you do get that last experience off your chest, you know where we at.
But also, too, they even tell football players, as a sports person, you know, they say do not have sex before the game. You will not be as strong.
Boxers.
Right.
Boxers, like any athlete knows that you're
That's
that
because they're having physical orgasms.
any orgasm that
You're going to lose the quality of it anyway. I know we like to play games with it,
And it
all
always
that other stuff.
you always had that weak
It
point.
is for temporary usage. That's why it's called grade tantra. It's for temporary. You play with fire, eventually you're going to get burned.
So wouldn't you say the immortal path is white tantric?
What's that?
White tantric
Right.
is the path of mortality.
Absolutely.
And then
And
the
we're
black
talking
tantra.
immortality levels.
But the thing too is it's like if you pull the sexual energy up the spine, you explode everywhere.
Right,
You
right,
explode
But you can have
everywhere.
that experience with a partner sexually.
I know. That's I'm saying that I know that, but it's actually 1,000 times greater than that which
Yeah,
you had.
1,000 times. We're
1,000
talking
times
something
greater
else.
than that which you had.
And see, when you didn't have that experience, so now, see, you got that other desire too, so you're going to back that other one up.
Well, okay, first of all, I haven't had sex in probably 15
Well, we know
years.
that.
So I'm not advocating going out and running around having sex. That's not my point. I'm just saying that I do think there are different paths for different people, and that I think that the relationship
Exactly.
path can be used. I don't.
We're talking the immortal path right
It
now.
can be used to even help you get burned out on it so that you can get to the immortal path.
Yeah, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah, like
we ain't talking about
everybody's
those
on
other
the
paths.
staircase of a spiral, and you have to exhaust the karma on each level because
Right.
you do have to be in a relationship until you realize every relationship is God and it's you. Like
Yeah.
Ram Dass said, you don't have to fall in love with one. Everybody's the beloved
Well,
if
I'm
you
not
get to a
saying that
certain.
we have to have one.
But I'm saying you said the relationship path, where relationship is one and then another, one and two. But when one becomes many, then you're in love with everybody. Then you can do whatever you want. You're not attached to just one. You see the beloved and God in everyone. Everyone's your beloved. Everyone's your partner.
When you're in white tantra.
Right. And you're making
Yeah,
love.
but I'm not arguing that that's not true. I mean,
Right.
I'm not saying.
Are you speaking for like the householders who like want to engage in sexual activities but don't want to spill their seed, so they engage in tantric activities so that they can keep their energy levels in a certain state without spilling their seed and having those orgasms, so that they could still experience some form of energy cultivation with their relationship partner and work as a team?
Possibly.
All right.
But I think there can be more to it than just that. I mean, that's kind of a limited.
I think you talk about the phases of raising a family, and even,
Yeah, there's four different levels.
Yeah, even after they raise their family, like even Krishna.
Yeah, see, this is what this is what nips it in the bud. Usually when a person
He's
talks,
an example.
usually when a person talks about that relationship thing, you know, about how it should be and stuff, they're usually not in a relationship. So they're talking it as this is how it should be. Usually when people are in a relationship, they kind of agree with the other part, and just leave it alone. If that makes any sense. In other words, like when we do talk about the partner and all of this and where it should be and all of this, they're usually not in a relationship, the people who talk on that other level.
Well, I guess what I'm thinking is that the shitty parts of the relationship, all of the selfishness that comes up, I mean, the selfishness is a thing going on, is an opportunity to release the selfishness. I mean, like, you can't work through something unless it presents itself.
All right, now that's in the
Do you know what I
right.
mean? Like,
That's
so
not
it's a
true.
way to get it to present itself
Yeah, that's
really
true.
fast and really hard. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it's a way
Like,
to work through things.
That's
Yeah.
I'm in one now, and I feel like I can definitely attest my personal experience. I feel like I've grown like light years faster spiritually than I would have if I wasn't in the relationship.
Right.
There were points when I thought, oh, this would be so much easier if I was just on my own, see you later. But it taught me how to be more selfless and how to authentically care about another person separate from my needs and have intimacy. Like, I feel like if I want intimacy with nature and with God, like whatever, source, like that other person is a mirror for me of how I'm.
But
Well,
even that's a training wheel.
But I want to say
Sure.
that everybody, this is what happens too. You're only serving one person. He's serving everybody. So what I'm saying, like when you're celibate, you don't have a condition to only give the specialness to the one guy.
Right.
You give the specialness to everybody. So you're more in service when you don't have to take care of one, you take care of many. So like we're out here, like when you're here, you're my beloved. I'm making sure the place is clean and it's beautiful and the candles are lit and you have a bed prepared. If I just had one guy in here, he'd be like, you can't have all these people over your house. I'm like, they're all my beloved.
Right.
So I'm learning my karma 9 times what you're learning with one, because I learned with one.
All right.
I'm 52.
We got it. We
Yeah.
clear. All right. I'll take it back. Okay, y'all got good relationships. Listen, we're talking about physical immortality, all right? Let's stop it, all right? we got it, all right?
We're
I
dry
say this all the
Let's
time.
not get too much in a fight.
Yeah,
Let's just keep reading.
yeah, let's read. We
This
got
is
it.
good. This is good.
That sound good, all right? We got it.
He's like, I don't know.
Yeah. All right, let's go. Let's read.
Sierra Sciences is another company racing to cheat death. Its focus is on treatments that can lengthen telomeres, the caps at the end of each strand of DNA. Telomeres get shorter each time a cell copies itself, because our cells copy themselves throughout our lives. The telomeres eventually get very short, and our cells cannot regenerate. We get old.
Now listen at that. Now they're working on the telomeres, and they got a movie showing the telomeres. When people figured out physical immortality, so it just wasn't a movie. There's an agency getting big funding that's working on it
Mr. Nobody.
to nip what physical immortality in the nip death in the bud. Now listen at this on what I'm reading on the Science Daily magazine, and you can look this up on ScienceDaily.com. Osaka University in Japan in 2018. This is what they're saying. Organ regeneration is no longer a distant dream. Scientists clarify that cellular behavior drives left and right asymmetric organ morphogenesis. Now let me translate that.
Please do.
Now this science agency is saying that what? Cell regeneration is no longer a distant dream. In other words, we're bringing it from myth to reality. But they're saying that cellular behavior, the behavior of cells, drives how the organism supposed to behave. And they use that word morphogenesis. Now, morphogenesis just means when the cell started, what? Got to its adult form, its beginning form. It should stay in that beginning form. When it gets out of that beginning form, that's when we start, what? It start copying itself, not back in its beginning form. It's sort of like a person got stomach cancer. Now, every 5 days, the cells of the stomach changes, right? But why did that person still continue to have stomach cancer year after year after year? Because the cell that's being produced after that is still supporting the cancerous cell. But they're saying that that don't have to happen. They say we could get the cell back into its origination before it took on another way it's supposed to go.
So, but lifestyle.
And it's through a behavior.
Right, behavior. I said lifestyle and behavior, the key to that, turning the new lock to turn on the new.
Right.
Or go back to the regular stuff.
So I remember even when I was overweight and sick, I had a mark on my leg. And I didn't know what it was. I'm scared. There's this mark on my leg. But as I started going into the new lifestyle, it wasn't long before I was scratching my skin and start coming off, and my skin regenerated itself. It was through a lifestyle, a behavior. When the new cells that started being copied went back to their original form. So this is what Japan is basically saying. Through what? Cellular behavior. That the body will get, it won't be no longer, organ regeneration is no longer a distant dream. Yes, if you change your life to a certain mode of level, the right conditions, it should already be in that state. Ding! This is where it's at. All the way around. The people you're around. Oh, yeah, I got to look at that. Wait a minute. Because you eat more. This is what the Breatharian message is saying. You eat more than just through your mouth. That's child's play. They say, and we know this, but it just need to be clarified. They say your organ is a part of the body that performs a specific function, like your brain, your lungs, or your skin, and you use your organs every second. So we're not thinking like that, but your body's taking care of itself. Every second they're working. They're working overtime for us. But this is what they're saying. Through your diet, you get your diet through eating. This is what they say. What you watch, what you listen to, what you read, and the people you hang around.
Whoa. Whoa.
All of that is nourishment.
That's why I'm here.
Yeah, me too. That's why I'm here. That's why I'm so glad you all showed up.
Whoa!
For having us.
Thank you for coming. Seriously. It's been
Whoa!
Seriously.
amazing.
It's a consciousness of a synergy we're in. Whoa!
Whoa. Read that again. All the stuff.
Yeah.
Your what you listen to.
So what you what? Watch, what you listen to, what you read, and the people you hang around. That's your nutrition,
That's
the
your
totality of your diet.
That's your diet. We got to write that down. That's amazing.
Whoa.
That's your diet.
Whatever your mind is occupying itself with, what you read, you listen to, all of this stuff. And I was just with a friend up north when we was creating our new TV, Pranic TV, and we said it's about positive television. And sure enough, we saw a reality show. It was just on for a few seconds. It was so negative you felt it. It was somebody cussing and it was a reality show. It was just a few seconds and we felt the vibration from it.
I can feel it right away. I'm like,
Wow!
no, I don't like Family Guy. Thanks.
Wow!
As I'm saying, I choose all my programming.
So the Breatharian knowledge is talking way more about what goes into the mouth. It's the totality of a lifestyle. That's why we just dealt with a person. They could not understand what me and Athena was dealing with them about them smoking a cigarette in the space.
Or drinking a beer.
Or
In the
drinking a
space.
beer in the
Hiding
space.
it.
They
Hiding
couldn't
it.
understand it. We wasn't on them being mean to them that you can't do those things, but within the space, come on.
I have a victory.
It's selfish at that point.
I have a victory. I have a victory.
Right.
I went to the Whole Foods to get my daughter something to eat, and I ran into one of the other Airbnb clients who thought it was funny with the other roommate to hide meat in the kitchen. And we know that there's no meat, no alcohol.
Oh, no.
And I ran into him, and he just said, you know what, I want to apologize to you. I want to know how you're doing. He goes, guess what? It was a professional athlete, actually. He's a famous soccer player. And he said, I have cut tremendously back on my meat. I want to say I'm really sorry. I know what you were trying to do, and I just couldn't get it. And, like the karma.
The karma.
Like what he was going to be, I was only going to go to the break. Just this amount of time, the huge city of LA, at the same checkout stand. There he is, the famous athlete. He pops in and says, I'm sorry.
That's so beautiful.
And,
Right.
and he's getting off meat.
Right. It comes eventually.
Yeah.
All you got to do is live a lifestyle. And you ain't being mean to people, but it's like you done did a lot of work
Yeah, you don't need to be mean about it though.
to change the sheets on your bed, and you just don't want other people jumping on it dirty and up. You put a lot of work into it.
Exactly.
So you got a right to guard and protect your space.
Exactly.
Now this is how deep it got. I put a
Right.
post on social media talking about people, they do want to offer you food at times, whether if it's a relative or other people, and sometimes they might get offended by you not offering their food,
That's their problem.
Eating their food.
eating their food. But one day I had to stand up for myself and put that out there. I was in Egypt, and some man invited me to his house. I came. They came with a big tray of food and put it in front of me, and I said, well, that's good, but I'm on a special diet. That's all I put. I'm on a special diet. All right, so we having this beautiful conversation talking. Now, after the conversation, I'm about to leave. He said, but there's one thing that upset me, that you didn't partake in none of my food that I prepared and brought out and stuff like that. But that's what I said to him. You're offending me now. We just had a beautiful time. We had a beautiful conversation. And I told you I'm on a special diet. I don't feel I have to violate my body
Then
to
it's-
please you.
Yeah.
I'm going to make sure that this won't happen again. You ain't going to worry about me being here again.
kind of respect
We're going to make
is
sure
that?
this don't happen again. Oh, I'm sorry. But you shouldn't even went there.
Yeah.
You just should have left it alone.
Exactly.
And I got into it with another guy, Sudanese. He invited me to his house, visiting his family. No, I don't eat that. Now, he knew I was breatharian before I got there. But he going to try to take me to the side. Now, they didn't say it to me. I was good with the family. But it is offending them because you don't want to join none of their food and stuff. I said, you knew who I was before I got there. I ain't going to violate myself for you.
They're causing their own problems.
But again, we're going to make sure this don't happen again. You do not have to worry about me coming back. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Because you want me to come back. It ain't going to happen. We nip it in the bud. You should have never brought it up.
Checkmate.
We're going to check it. I thought I was doing good.
Yeah, I
But
experienced
that is,
something
that's
like
a
that
lot
recently.
of people, though, that they behave off of guilt and shame,
Yeah.
and then they cause their own problems.
Right.
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 They project it onto us.
And he the one too. Now they was up there out with the family, he eating, and he's sitting up there with his gut. Don't know why his back hurting, young man. I know why it's hurting. What you eating? So you expect me to take part in what you? To make you happy because you invited me to the house. I already got a house. I was at the house before I got there. I was already happy. Y'all in conversation. I'm in the conversation I like having now. Immortality. We wasn't talking that. Oh man.
It's not like you're saying it in a mean way either. It's like, I really appreciate that you did this, but I'm on a special diet.
Yeah, I'm
That's
on a
it.
special diet. We should have left it alone.
What
I
else
could
is
have had
wrong
a
with that?
sickness or something that I need to eat something that's
I didn't
different.
insult you. You
I don't want to
insulted
eat that
yourself.
junk you gave me. Whoa, like I'm supposed to make you happy. Well, you gonna learn? I bet he won't do the next person like that. Right.
But I think it's a good experience because they may come back to it in their mind and think, oh, I'm never going to see him again because I didn't think about that before I said it to him.
That's just what happened. I thought we had a beautiful time, a beautiful conversation. We did. But that just all got ended.
I'm sure they think about it, though.
But to guard and protect where you at and how you live in your identity. Koala bear eat koala leaves. You ain't gonna feed them nothing else. When he tell you he on a special diet, he means it.
Yeah.
He ain't offending you.
I went through that with my dad for a long time, and every time he'd get me these treats, it was my favorite stuff he'd get in the fridge. And he never bought me stuff ever before until I went vegan. And then I'm like, I just went vegan. I don't know why you're getting me this stuff. And he's like, oh, you don't have to eat it, but I just thought you'd like. I said, I'm not going to eat it, and it's not going to change. So forget it. And he kept doing it, and eventually I stuck with it.
Right.
Got the memo,
You stuck with it.
And now he's going vegan to come
Full
around
circle.
another year.
They're just testing you to see where you at. Once you see you serious,
Yeah.
see
Then
people
he sees
watching
that
you
there's a
anyway.
real reason
And you're
to do it.
going to improve being on a health message. It ain't about it might happen. It will happen. So just like we talk about physical immortality, you will live forever. You stay on this path. That's why in that article it said millions of people, if they choose to, are going to live forever.
Right.
Say that again.
Now,
Say
No,
it again.
I
Say it
feel
again.
like-
Make a recording of it. Let's all listen to it every day.
I feel like a lot of older people, when they're in their 80s and they're already overweight, and they're already feeling bad, they think they can't go from that point and start there.
Well, we are coming out of a generational thing. There's some, that's what that article
Is
said.
that just
now,
a thought?
there's millions of people. Yeah, there's some, they went a certain way. It wasn't presented to them. We just happen to grow up luckier.
But let's say,
Or
like,
better.
my grandparents are very open and very high conscious, and
Right.
they've gone vegan before, but then they slip back into it because of their environment that they're in a residential area.
Right.
And I guarantee they're one of the highest conscious people there, and
Well, what
They-
we're saying is,
they think that because they're already really overweight. My grandpa's already got earbuds in, and he's
Right.
already losing his eyesight.
and that's true.
How could he start where he's at now?
Now, listen how I'm going to answer that. That's true. They grew up totally different than you did. Don't
Right.
even compare the two.
Right,
Don't even compare the two whatsoever.
right.
This video that's going out right now is going to go all over the world, and there's going to be some young kid looking at it. When they was kids, they didn't hear that. Whole different ball game.
But I mean, you don't
But I'm
have to. You don't have to be young to start this.
That's
You
what
don't
I'm,
have to
that's what
be.
I'm saying.
I have
That's
a,
what I'm saying.
a friend that's she's older than me,
Right.
And she's dynamically interested in this,
Right.
and doing everything that she can at her level, and
Right.
and so incredibly high level,
Right.
to transition to this,
Right.
You know,
And
so it doesn't matter how old you are.
Now, no matter how old you are,
And
but
how, all that matters is
the consciousness. Whole
Right.
different ball game than what we're in.
And it seems like
But-
with saying this, they're
but when
already on it. The
Right.
Breatharian journey.
But what I'm trying to say is for us to size them up on why they
Oh,
ain't
no,
going
not
away.
at all.
Right.
Let them go.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
Right,
I
let
think
them
that
go.
was missing.
I don't care.
I got you.
I'm saying what he's saying, how they can start where they're at, though.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's
Totally,
like,
totally.
and they can still get to immortality.
Well, it's just like the Breatharian
they can
message.
still be in
From
in
my
tune, but we're not
experience
from
is-
there.
A different message I give to a younger group than an older one.
Right.
Oh, interesting.
It's
Right.
two different things.
Yeah,
It
totally.
ain't the same message
Totally. I feel
or how you got to approach them.
right. I've
The
approached
young
them
ones
talking-
got-
Listen more.
Yeah, the young ones got a desire still that they haven't lived yet. The older ones already got certain desires off their chest, so they got the time to go into it. But the older ones are also up against, the body made some changes, and it is kind of harder to get out of that compared to one who didn't do it. You follow me? So it's two different messages on how you have to approach them.
Are you saying that it may just take?
But it's not the same way that they're going to come in. It's just like when I was in the Canary Islands. My son was 19. Now, there was some guy named Sashko who was in his 50s. I shouldn't say his name. In his 50s. So he's asking my son about the Qigong, and does he feel it? But my son's body didn't go through changes. He's only 19. He don't know how he feels. If anything, Sashko should have been asking me or somebody else. But he's asking somebody who don't know what the body changes were. So my son said, I can't answer you the question. We don't feel the same. You are regenerating, trying to heal something. I've never been there yet. I ain't abused myself with eating yet. Two different ball games on how it's approached. But it can be done. Anytime you're living, you can come into it. Oh man, this is good. Now what else we got?
If you can get the telomeres back to the normal state they were at when you were born, that could reduce your biological age back to 25.
Whoa!
Whoa!
That was the movie. They were all 25.
They were all 25. And if you could get them back to where they were,
25.
that will happen. So that's what Japan is saying, basically. Going back to getting the cell back into the beginning of its development when it was young, before it went through all those changes of getting polluted, making bad copies, and all this other stuff.
If you're older, then it could just take you a little longer. The process could be a little longer, or it might not even be longer. That's not necessarily
Well, that's
true.
just everybody's going to be different.
Even
There's a
if
book called The
are
5
older.
Tibetan Rites, and he purposely got an older crowd for a reason.
Yeah.
Their body's already seen changes, but he wanted to show that they could regenerate themselves. Yes, that can happen.
Right. I
Right?
think they're
Or each
already
person
there.
is going to be different.
Yeah.
And then there's some young people you can talk blue in the face. They're going to have some life experiences just because they want to have it, even though it might be harmful for the body. You're not going to stop that. I don't want to live goody two shoes on a white sheet. All right,
Been there.
Yeah.
that's what they're saying. So just let everybody go and run their pace. I can't talk for other
Right.
people.
Right.
All I can do is talk for me. That's what I did. I'm just sharing my experience. That's all we're doing. And then where we headed next. Right. All right, let's roll.
You wouldn't be reversed back to a baby. You stop where maturity begins and ends. Among Sierra Science's competitors in BioViva, whose CEO, Elizabeth Parrish, is so committed to the cause that she became one of the first humans to undergo telomere therapy in 2015.
What?
Writing in 2018, she claimed a measurement of her telomeres showed they had grown younger by roughly 30 years since she received the treatment. Her body was reverse aging.
She's a CEO of a company. This ain't no little person that's running around. 2015 that happened. And she's already getting the treatment. She's one of the first candidates, on that level. People are already doing it.
The treatment?
We're just saying she's on an immortal. The immortal knowledge is there. She's doing it to be immortal. Why would she do it? That's what we're talking about. People who are in the know, love their life, got money or successful is in this. And if you're successful and you love your life and love life, you should be thinking the same way. Other than that, you think of something else. Just get it in while you can and go. That's how people thinking. But we're making it accessible that it exists and people are doing it. Wow. This is good, ain't it? Wow. Wow. Read some more there. This is getting good.
Others claim they can already prevent aging in animals. George Church, a Harvard professor and the founder of Rejuvenate Bio, uses gene therapy to add anti-aging instructions to DNA.
So they're already stopping aging in certain animals. Now, one of the main things is, the biggest test is, like the medical field is saying, a starvation diet is the best diet. So right there, they already nipped the food piece in the bud. You have a rat who they just feed very little, and a rat they just let eat any old type of way. This one outlives them big time. look younger and everything. The one who eats and keep doing that over and over again. So if it does that in rats and monkeys, what you think is happening with people?
It makes
Same
perfect
thing.
sense. It's like with a car. If you take care of it, you can get it. It's still around. Even when the first Model Ts were made, they're still driving.
They're still driving.
Yeah.
Now listen at this. I'm glad you brought that up, and I get this a lot. There's a Guinness Book of World Records about the world's longest driving car dealing with mileage. I think that it's over 1 million miles driving in the car. Now they asked the dude, the key question was, they said, wait a minute. That year when that car came out, there was thousands of cars all over the world that came off that assembly line the same way. Why is your car still being drove? He said, I did what the instruction manual said to do. In other words, when you go a certain number of miles, you change the spark plugs. You change the oil. You change the tires when you put certain mileage on them. You don't wait till, see, the average person waits till something happens to the vehicle. Then you go get it checked up and changed. He said he did these things and stayed consistent with it when it was time to do it. So that's why there's a thing called preventive maintenance. What we did this morning when we woke up doing Qigong, that's maintenance. You ain't got to wait till something's wrong for that to happen or the energy gets stiff. That should be in your lifestyle just to do it so you can get the best out of the vehicle. Because it's designed, didn't we read that in the beginning? It's made. We ain't even going to say design. It's made to go on forever. They started straight out saying that.
Prevention is the best cure.
Prevention is the best cure. That's why we got a thing dealing with America and other super world powers, not picking on them, of preventable diseases. That means it could have been prevented. That means that there's a lack of information and ignorance taking place. That's all it is. Ignorance. We might as well go there. And they can't even laugh at us now. We're talking straight immortality. You can boldly get you a business card saying, I'm such and such the immortal. Well, how old are you? How long you been here? Well, I've been here like I am now, but I'll be around for a while with you. That's how you can start. Let's keep rolling.
Church says he has succeeded in making mice live twice as long, and the secretive company is said to be planning imminent testing on dogs. The discovery by calico scientists in 2008 that naked mole rats, which look exactly how they sound, except with bigger teeth, essentially do not age, fueled further excitement in the quest for immortality.
Those some lucky animals, ain't it?
Wait a minute, did you say that genetically they just don't age?
Which, except with bigger teeth, essentially do not age, fueled further excitement in the quest for immortality. Yeah.
So there are rats right now on the planet that don't age.
Essentially.
Essentially.
If a rat can do it, why can't you?
That's the first step, is having a rat do it.
Mm-hmm. And then they got what? I think a squid.
Like a racket.
Oh yeah, there's this. Yeah.
There's a squid that's immortal that they say. So there's other animals doing some powerful,
The Loch Ness Monster.
unique things.
There's
Yeah.
also a mushroom.
We gotta find them first.
Yeah, I gotta
The
find
immortal
A
it.
jellyfish.
Yeah, the jellyfish.
Jellyfish. There we
Yeah,
go.
there's a certain jellyfish that
Right.
just keeps rejuvenating itself at a certain time period.
Just
And
reserve.
then we was talking about breathing. Usually when people get in breath work, they do the rapid breathing. But pretty soon, the what? The shorter the breath, the longer the life.
Right. Yeah.
Wait, the shorter
the
the breath,
longer
the
the-
longer the breath.
Yeah.
Oh, the longer the
The longer
breath,
the breath.
the longer the life.
So is
The
that,
slower
so,
the breath
The
Right.
slower the breath.
So the slowing the breath slows the heartbeat,
Mm-hmm.
and then so
increases your lifespan.
And when we look at a tortoise again, he lives a
Right.
very long time.
Yeah, over 300 years because
as
he's got a
opposed to the
slow
rabbit.
breath. Right, no,
Yeah.
but also too, we count the breaths. I think the tortoise breathes like 20, was it 22 breaths in like 1 minute or something? And the average human is like 33 or something, the breaths.
Well,
They measure their
the
breath.
human breath is 33 in the modern human, but there was a test, a bunch of research where they were following in the early 1900s, and they recorded the breath rate of people over time, because at that time people were breathing like 4 times a minute, just 100 years ago.
4 times a minute. Well, that'll
Yeah.
keep them here longer.
Yeah.
Maybe 800 years back then.
Well, but we lost it.
We lost it.
Yeah.
Eating
Now-
too much.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
gotta breathe
We're up to-
more.
We're up to 30.
Keep the heart going.
Wow, so you breathe more when you eat.
Absolutely.
Totally, I noticed
Maybe
it
it's the
so
kind
much.
of food because I mean these are people who were eating. They didn't live.
But they probably didn't eat as
appreciably
much because they
longer,
had to chase their food
Yeah,
or
right.
wait
Right,
for it
we
to
got
grow.
big time sugar now. You
They
can
run
get
through
a
them
pop
faster,
this
too.
big
They
now.
live in all
but yeah.
Burgers this big. I mean, come on.
But were people any healthier around the turn of the century when they were breathing slower? That's kind of the question, you know.
Well,
I'm thinking about.
I know I've met a lot of
There's
people who
study.
were coming from down south, like in their 80s and stuff, and it was hard to tell what age they were. Now, this is in my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
So that was just like a different environment and everything else, you know, just coming from the south.
Right.
So I can see that. But where we at now, not only we got that knowledge and we got that memo, we have upgraded on other things we know, so we should be able to perfect it even more.
So what's the message? Breathe slow and deep.
Mm-hmm.
Don't eat. Don't have sex. Don't go to sleep.
Don't go to sleep.
Don't do anything.
And breathe,
they
and
told
breathe as
you.
Right.
little as possible.
But breathe deep as little as possible.
And if
Right.
somebody's trying to
Slow
get
and
to that
deep.
point of those
Slow and
those
deep.
those,
It's my
those
favorite
modes,
meditation.
they had that gradual progression until they get to a point to where it's no longer needed, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you had the qigong where we breathe through our whole body, our skin. I felt our skin breathing.
Yeah, we're doing everything with our whole bodies. That's what we're training ourselves for. Opening everything up and changing our thought process. You got to start thinking like an immortal, acting like one. Absolutely. That's how you're going to do it. That's how you manifest the energy. Other than that, the universe don't see you no more. You don't want to live forever.
Yeah, like the reason why I'd even have any form of reason towards that is ending the illusion of poverty, like I said before. I'm very adamant about this.
Right.
Self-sustaining structures, civilizations. And I find if I only have a lifespan of 80 years, what can I get done?
What could you get done?
Yeah, I'll get it started, but I won't be able to see it through.
Right.
And I'm here to see it through.
You talk about not even being 80 all broken up. You want to
Exactly.
be healthy,
Yeah.
strive
25 at
to
80.
do some big,
Exactly.
right, to do some big projects.
Yeah, I got some work. I got some work to do, you know?
Big project.
I got
So
some-
that's how you think. If you want to do big projects, you should be doing maintenance on your health so you can stick around and make sure it get carried through.
Exactly. It's the first step right
You're
there.
doing big stuff. Why you don't eat so I can stick around and do this big project I'm working on?
Yeah, that's all it is.
That's all it is.
Yeah, because then if you don't have any form of work, then you get bored. And then what's the point? You
Right.
gotta have that
That's when
duty.
you eat, when you're bored.
Yeah, because you want
Right.
to kill yourself to get out of here. Even Krishna, when he was done with his work, he's like, I want to leave this body. He's like 125, still looking 25, but he's like, I'm out of here, man. So
I'm
he just
outta
laid down in the field, wait for 100 to shoot him in the foot, and that's how he died, because he was cursed. He died by his foot. And that's what he did. And
Right.
the hunter's like,
And I
oh,
like
I'm
how
so
he
sorry.
said that.
He's like, I'm so sorry. I shot you in the foot. Now you're going to die. He's like, don't worry about it.
That's
Don't
the-
worry about it.
That's what it's about. When I built that community center, I had a whole lot of energy, and that's when I was sleeping, sitting up, all this other stuff. When it was built, that's when I got bored. What am I going to do now? I had to look for something else to do. So yeah, you want to do big. See, the thing about the Breatharian knowledge, you got the energy now to do things that you thought you couldn't do before. That's
Yeah.
a good thing about it.
It's true.
Big stuff.
Yeah. If you're immortal,
The time and energy.
if you're immortal and you've done all your work on this planet, why not build a little spaceship or teleport to another
You
planet?
go somewhere else then.
And put in some more work.
Got a lot of work to do.
Spread the knowledge.
Like I said, we've been contained in a prison planet due to our consciousness. It's self-check. It ain't even seeing the fullness of the universe.
It's true. The Bhagavad Gita speaks to this as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're bound by the material modes of
We're
nature.
opening up more and more to what? Master the energies of nature and beyond. Oh man, this is good. So that's about it, huh? Oh no, there's one more. Now,
He's like, oh.
I think we finished that one.
Okay.
Now there's an image. Or go out of that for a minute. And then there's an image on the different cells of the body on how they regenerate themselves or how long.
This is so amazing.
It is.
And I'm glad this is like my second day of dry fasting and you're giving me this now because I'm not interested in eating. Where before I was like, how far can I go? Can I go the next day? Can I go?
There you go.
Like this is cleaning my brain.
Right. Because it gives it purpose.
Purpose.
If you ain't got no purpose, why you want to be a breatharian and all this other stuff? Why eat? Why fast? Why do this? You're going to quit. It ain't fun. But when you got a purpose of why you're doing it, understanding, you bring on a whole new identity, a whole new way of life, and it takes you into a whole nother creation. Because it's a purpose on who you are. You're a god, a goddess. Straight up, they don't die. They just keep regenerating, creating, doing things, boom, 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 changing things. Got the power, the energy, the time to do it. All this stuff. Ain't no limited. Now, listen at this. This is a chart on. Now, this is why the Breatharian process is a process. We can get that out of our mind about a week, about this, about that, and it goes along with immortality. Because different organs in the body regenerate themselves at different times. So even though, like they say, the 21-day process, but it takes 10 years just for the cells of the skeleton, to regenerate themselves fully. So it ain't got the full memo of what you're doing yet. You just did something in 21 days, but the memo of the skeleton is doing something totally different still. It ain't got the memo yet. So that's why you want to stay on the journey. It's a lifetime. You got to get this in your head. It's a lifetime journey. And you can stay as long as you want, as long as you keep the cycle of the lifetime of universal laws. Don't worry about no destination. It ain't got nothing to do with that. Wow. This is good, ain't it?
Yes.
Now let's read some of the organs and the times they regenerate.
Okay, so cell type turnover time. Small intestine epithelium, 2 to 4 days.
2 to 4 days. Small intestines.
That's good.
So that's good. A 2 to 4 day
That's a nice
fast,
goal.
you'll feel totally different.
Dry fast?
Dry fast, water
Is it
fast,
water fast?
whatever you do better.
Yeah.
The cells are going to come out different.
So, like, for instance, my process with these 72-hour fasts with just smoothies and fluids,
Mhm.
that's still doing the work in some way.
Right.
But it wouldn't be as efficient as it would be with the dry fast.
Right.
Yeah, because with the dry fast, you're supercharging the whole system. With
Nobody's
the
arguing that.
All right.
But that's if you're in the right situation to do that.
Yeah.
Don't beat up on yourself.
Yeah, 'cause I know if I
You'll
did that
still have
now-
those big benefits doing something totally different.
Yeah, I knew if I was to do what I'm doing right now, where I was
Mhm.
at in Florida, I wouldn't be able to keep up. I would break down and just start binge eating again.
Right,
it's happened.
right.
It's happened because
Right.
I try to like just jumpstart to the destination.
Now this should help you stop binge eating.
Yeah. it
Now
hap-
they ain't saying you're gonna stop eating, but if you're gonna eat something that's still more user friendly on the body, because the body is not gonna stop regenerating new cells.
It's true. That's why I've been working with spirulina.
We want it to be
chlorella,
different.
And iracemos because I find my body like it just likes that, and I don't have to eat a lot because it
Right.
provides all the essential minerals and nutrients that I could even think I'd need.
So it can regenerate itself differently. Now listen at the rest of them.
Stomach, 2 to 9 days.
2 to 9 days, you got a new stomach.
That's incredible.
That's awesome, ain't it? This is why this body, you gotta appreciate this.
Yeah.
I got a new stomach every 2 to 9 days. Wow. Keep reading.
It makes me wonder how it's even possible to get things like cancer.
Yeah.
I want to take a snapshot of that when you're done and just send it to me.
All right.
I gotta like memorize that.
All right, what's the next one?
Blood neutrophils, 1 to 5 days.
1 to 5 day new blood,
1 to 5 days new blood.
or it should be the red blood. Let me see, red blood cells. See, they got the,
There's different bloods on here, yeah. Oh, the white blood cells, 2 to 5 days.
2 to 5 days.
and that's and your white blood cells is the one that fights
Fight cancer.
infections.
That fight cancer. So how many days on the white blood cells?
2 to 5.
2 to 5 days.
2 to 5 days.
2 to 5
So you
days,
could cancer cells in 2 to 5 days.
depending on how extreme it is. We don't want to put that information out to make it exact.
Okay.
What we're saying is stay on the path.
Stay on the path. So you could cycle the fasts.
Right.
Just cycle them.
Because the body will keep cycling. Even when you got a new stomach at 2 to 9 days or whatever it said, it's going to do it again. It ain't stopping. It's going to do it again. You just stand in that cycle. That don't mean you got to let the food go. Just be less stress on the body. It's going to bring forth a new creation each time.
So when you're on the Breatharian path, does this cellular dance stop?
Oh, absolutely not.
So the intestines and stomachs are still.
We'll keep on regenerating. Absolutely. You're constantly being remade. You're constantly you're constantly dying every day.
So-
Dying and becoming new.
So
Wow.
how does the cells that are being replaced by, how do they exit the body?
Many different ways. You'll still use the bathroom. It'll probably come through many different ways. Through the skin.
Yeah.
It's totally different than a person who's doing the turds and eating, like that. The body got many ways to get rid of stuff, just like it got many ways to bring energy in.
Well, the skin, the lungs.
You could cry it out through a tear. It all
kidneys.
depends how it wants to get rid of it.
Yeah, like a good example of this cellular rejuvenation, how it doesn't end. Even with the other time, you said that you got skinny, but then your muscle mass started to gain. And people
Right.
And then
Still building.
I bet you 7 years from now, you'll have even more muscle mass.
You're going to be even more different. You don't end. You keep recreating yourself. And then your nails will still be growing. I had to clip my nails not too long ago. That's the cell still doing it. Hair falls out and then it grows back new hair. We do that all the time. You're a regenerating being. Never end. We're not stagnant creatures. That's what we got to learn.
No, I understand.
Not stagnant at all. Always changing. Wow. Let's keep reading.
Yeah, and the red blood cells are further down. The red ones. Alright, so gastrointestinal colon crypt cells, 3 to 4 days.
Wow.
Cervix, 6 days.
What is it? Cervix?
Cervix, 6 days. Lungs, alveoli, 8 days.
8 days, lungs. New cells. Wow.
Okay. Tongue, taste buds, rat, 10 days.
That makes a lot of sense.
Taste buds change.
That's how you can get off the avocados.
Right. It changes the taste. It don't taste the same no
It
more.
doesn't taste the same anymore.
Mm-hmm. And I remember one time I wasn't drinking nothing at all. And I went to Italy and some friends were like, let's go to the cafe. I said, all right. And I said, well, I'm not drinking nothing. But they, said, oh, why not? We having a good time. I said, well, drinking nothing ain't going to hurt. So I ordered a lemonade. I could taste everything in a lemonade. It was the best lemonade in my life. You see what I'm saying? So at least if you are eating, give yourself a time out to change your taste buds so the food could taste differently and you can be in heaven.
Right.
Yeah, average person eating ain't even tasting the food like it really supposed to taste.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah, I had a huge tolerance for hot sauce.
Yeah.
I couldn't really taste it. I thought I was tasting it, but I always needed more.
Always needed more. Ain't that something?
Yeah, when I cleaned up with the fasting, I can't even do hot sauce now.
Right.
It's too much.
Too much.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Read a few more.
Okay.
This is amazing.
So I'll keep going down.
That's why this is the best science and technology. They ain't built a machine that takes care of itself and you living it, got access to it. It replaces itself. You ain't got to do nothing but get out the way. Ain't that something? Whoa.
Bone osteoclast, 2 weeks. Skin epidermis cells, 10 to 30 days.
10 to 30 days, the skin epidermis
All
cells.
new skin. You have a new facelift.
So that's why when you
30
take your
days.
showers and stuff, you see all the dead cells coming off.
Yeah, dry
This
brushing.
is the biggest organ.
My skin's been getting a lot
30
better
days,
since I started fasting.
new
I used to
skin.
break out a lot. I
Yeah.
don't even break out now. And then everything's just disappearing.
Working with the organs.
Yeah.
User friendly. Putting in the right position. Doing our asanas, our yogas, our meditation. We're doing something. You're helping the body regenerate itself.
Absolutely.
Every 30 days, new skin.
New skin.
That's why you glow. If you notice your videos, you glow.
Right.
Your skin glows.
I can fire it up if I want to. I'm supposed to glow. I'm a light.
Ah,
That's what we're doing. This is what it's all about again.
new skin.
New skin. So that's why we're gonna talk about it later. The sexual cultivation, where you start letting your orgasm go back into the blood, dissolve itself back into the blood, and start going into the other organs and all of this. Everything start glowing. It start regenerating. All of this. You're not supposed to die. We started off that article saying you were made to live forever, and the elites of the planet are saying that.
Is the cerebral fluid absorption back into the organs a natural process, or do you have to use conscious effort?
Natural.
So it just happens?
It just
So
happened.
like if I haven't spilled my seed in, say, a month, it's already happening?
It's already happening because I'm going to talk more about the seed later.
All right.
All we got to do is let go. Energy automatically rise upwards. It already knows where to go, where it goes in the blood system. We just want a story to figure stuff out. It does it on its own. That's why I keep saying heat rises upwards by its nature. And we've been playing that game. You got to make the Kundalini rise. You ain't got to make nothing rise. That's the stupidest thing I heard in my life. So we nip it in the bud now. People got videos out there today, my Kundalini rolls, and I'm looking at their physical body. Your Kundalini ain't rise. Look at you. All blocked up. You can see it. That's how we talking. Because if we talking about that power rising, they'll be talking physical immortality. So you be on this path, you can see it. Why can you see it? Because you're working with yourself. It ain't even wrapped around your intellectual mind. You seeing yourself transform as you working on yourself. You don't care what nobody else say. You start seeing different, feeling different, thinking different. So when you see it, you know what you're working with. Oh, man. Few more of them.
Trachea, 1 to 2 months.
Trachea.
Here's a good one. Sperm, male gametes, 2 months.
2 months, new sperm.
I read 40 days somewhere.
Well, that's like 2 months, 40 to 45 days. It varies. Now, a lot of these regenerations, they got many different charts and they'll vary just a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, about that
Well,
2
maybe-
months.
So then you absorb it then every 40 days? Because you're making new.
Right.
So it has to get absorbed because it fills back up.
Well, keep in mind, it ain't like that that got to create a new one. There's like this factory.
Okay.
Then you produce 1,000 a day.
Oh, you do?
Right.
New every day.
Every day.
So then you're absorbing it every day.
Absolutely. So you are the whole factory. That's why, sexual cultivation goes along with living on prana. You actually got this this hormone that's being produced every day that's going back into the blood, regenerating itself, feeding the brain, all these different functions taking place, and it can activate itself like a stem cell. Meaning, if there's a cell that's lacking in the body, it will take the place to act as that new cell. Why could we boldly say that? Because in order to make a new life form, right? It had to get information from the kidney, information from the heart. It's all in that package, that information.
Right.
So that's why it's called an orgasm. It's coming from the organs. So if it's going back to the organs, it got all that information in it. It could be any cell it want to. You are automatic immortal. Oh man, this is awesome, ain't it?
Red blood cells, 4 months.
Red blood cells, 4 months.
Fat
Wow.
cells, 8 years.
Now the fat cells, that's a big one, 8 years.
Okay, so is that why it's harder for people to lose fat? Like they got to do this process for 8 years to see a dramatic change, or they can do it immediately?
Both of them. Get on the path, start, and let the process take place. That's just saying on the fullness of it. You know what I mean?
But yeah, but you talk to people like, oh, my diet's not that bad, and they cannot get rid of the weight, but they don't do the fasting. They don't take off the food.
Right, so that's why we talk about the holistic lifestyles. You adding in different things, not just one. This is a lifestyle, a totality of it. So if you're going to be an immortal, what is that? A lifestyle. That's what they're saying, a straight up lifestyle. That's what the Japanese were saying. They're basically saying, listen at this wording they use. Cellular behavior drives the asymmetric organ to morphogenesis. In other words,
Say that again. Cellular behavior.
cellular behavior drives the cell asymmetric organ into morphogenesis. In other words, it's through the lifestyle or the behavior
It's driving the.
that drive it back to where the cell's supposed to be in its original form.
Right, so it's the 25-year-old program.
Right.
Healthy with a healthy body.
There we go.
Till you mess it up.
Man. Here we go now. That's cool right there. That's enough. We read enough. Good job. You did a good job reading. We got to give him a round of applause again.
Yay, thank you.
This is where we at. If we go in there, you got to at least talk about it first. Then you start living it. And then you start talking to yourself, like you said, through repetition so much it become part of you.
I got to write an Immortal song now. I wrote the Breatharian song. Now I got to write,
But you gotta
I'm
write the-
immortal now.
Ah.
I don't care anyhow. I'm not having sex or going to sleep or anything else.
My eternal
Sleep on a
vow.
white sheet.
This is good. So now we can take a break and do our, what are we going to fire up? We ain't do the microcosmic orbit yet.
Weren't you going to show us a video?
Oh, you didn't do that.
And that'll
last
be when
night?
we come back. Where are we at now? What time is
We
it?
should go for a walk again.
You didn't do the microcosmic orbit. last
I
night?
didn't. I would love to do that.
The Merkabah you didn't do yet.
Merkaba, that's right.
Yeah, that's what we did yesterday.
So what we'll do now, we'll meet up and we'll go in there so we can turn on the music and we'll do the Merkabah,
Merkaba. Okay, what time is it?
3:30. And we'll take a break at 4. We'll do the Merkabah now and then we'll take a break and meet this evening.
Oh, you're rolling.
We're rolling.
So we're going to do the Merkaba now, and then the micro
Cosmic orbit.
cosmic.
When we
Thank
get
you.
back.
When we meet after.
Right.
Okay. After
So we'll
the
break it from what, 4 to 7? Or 4 to when?
4 to
So
6.
you going to
2
drive
hours
again? No,
usually,
you're not
right?
driving until
Yeah,
tonight.
2 hours.
Oh, drive tonight, yeah. I think we're done.
Well, how long's our break? From 4 to what?
4 to 6:30. We'll cut it in the middle there. 4 to 6:30.
I have a question about these. The Qigong is to amp up the battery.
The who?
The
Qigong.
Qigong is to charge the battery.
Yeah.
The Merkaba is to clear.
the energy
clear
field.
us. And the cosmic orbit, what would you say that is? In one-
Both of them.
Both.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
That's a powerful one. You're dealing with that middle channel. Oh man,
Okay.
that's
That's
deep.
when you're rolling the ball of light through the spinal column or
Yeah.
back in the front. Okay, so you're doing that one now?
Well, we're gonna work with the Merkaba.
Oh, the Merkaba now.
Because
Okay.
we did that with the two pyramids
Yeah.
yesterday, so we'll do it again. You never done it before.
No, I want to do both, but what I was saying is maybe I'm going to get this one now. If we start at 6:30 or even 6, maybe I can get the first one because I have a client at 7:30.
All right.
How long does it take to do the Merkaba?
Oh, that'll be easy.
Half
You'll
hour?
be ready. Yeah, half hour.
Okay. So
Wait,
40
I thought
minutes.
we were doing the Merkaba now.
Yeah, we're doing the Merkaba now.
no, but the microcosmic orbit. How long does it take for you to?
Oh,
teach
about
that?
40 minutes.
Can we come back at 6 then? Can we just have a 2-hour break just so I can start at
Yeah.
6?
All right.
Because I
We
have to
got
go on
it.
my call for an hour and I want to miss it again. It's my only really day off.
And always keep in mind, you're gonna be here every day anyway. We're doing it every day.
Yeah,
We're
there's
just
no need to
saying-
rush. When you
Okay,
rush
so you want
things-
does everybody want a 2.5 hour
No,
break?
no,
Y'all
it's
need
not.
2.5 hours?
I'm good with just 2. I think breaks are unnecessary for me.